One of the most significant challenges facing rural hospitals is the area wage index, which is used, of course, by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. As you know, under the reimbursement formula used by CMS, mandates that the area wage index remain budget neutral, and high-wage hospitals receive a higher reimbursement rates, whereas low-wage hospitals receive a lower rebate. This system has the perverse result of preventing low-wage hospitals, many of which are in rural areas and underserved communities, from paying higher wages. By keeping these hospitals at the lower end of the wage spectrum, they cannot compete against higher-paying hospitals, increasing their risk of closure and locking them into a downward spiral.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness License Plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
Wallace Community College in Dothan has a new president. Dr. Kathy Murphy was selected by the Alabama Community College system. Dr. Murphy has been president of the Gadsden State Community College since 2021, and before that, Murphy was the superintendent for Hoover City Schools. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. When you call Alabama Home Mortgage, from the moment we pick up the phone, you will hear the difference. We are passionate about what we do. To us, you're not just another applicant. When you call on us, you are trusting that we have your best interest at heart, and we do. We treat our customers like family, and that's why our customers turn into family, coming back to us time and time again. We know you have many options when it comes to mortgage financing, and we appreciate the opportunity to earn your business. We are excited to hear from you. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our passion is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-368, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello everyone, Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
It's all Fugazi. You know what Fugazi is?
Fugazi. It's fake.
Yeah, Fugazi, Fugazi. It's a wazi, it's a woozy, it's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not real.
Right, all right.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a lovely Friday out of Montgomery, Alabama. We have doctors doing gene editing on babies with rare diseases. We have Democrats threatening the Department of Homeland Security over pending arrest of colleagues who stormed an ICE facility. We have two of America's three largest cable companies merging. I'm sure service will get even better. And Trump is not only taking on the boss, Bruce Springsteen, he's taking on Taylor Swift. Oh, yeah, and by the way, it seems like the former FBI director, James Comey, wanted to 86 Trump yesterday. So everybody's talking about that. Welcome into the program. Again, I'm Joey, Eddie Bader, and Craig Munger here in the studio with me. How you two gentlemen doing?
Pretty good. How you doing, homie?
No, I'm doing
I'm all right.
Oh, I thought he was talking to me. I'm all right, too, Eddie, just in case you were wondering.
I knew you were all right. I saw you come in, big stud.
Nobody cares about me. It's okay.
Are you going to be pouty all day? I was telling him yesterday to decenter himself because we learned yesterday that Trump is causing black women to be fat.
He is.
Yeah. Well, and I at first thought this is absurd, but after decentering myself, I realized when did I put on all the weight? During the Biden administration. So maybe it was all the stress. I'm not responsible for my own fat ass. It was the stress that led me to order that DoorDash all the time.
Later on, I heard that you told everyone on Greg's show that you were unable to decenter me, and I failed the test.
You did fail. You
and
failed
I kind of
miserably.
agreed with you 1,000%.
Yeah, I think there's no changing, Eddie, at this point. You're set in your ways, are you not?
A little bit, but that was, Joe, that was just ridiculous, was it not?
Oh, of course it's ridiculous.
Okay.
And we have a lot of
you
ridiculous
can't
out
question
there.
It is the part that kills me.
No, and there's a lot of speeches being had by Democrats these days.
Yeah.
What's that? The huge black woman. It was on SNL. Leslie something. She apparently they have this revolving cast of like Daily Show people.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. Yes.
And she just it's like unhinged and just loud, which I'm not exactly foreign to me. But it's like y'all aren't even anywhere near based in reality. Nope. Bruce Springsteen talking about he's hurting the American people's rights. How, Bruce? How's that being done? Because they're sending gang members to El Salvador.
Yep.
That's how they're violating America. Because you do know it's a slippery slope, Craig.
It is. It's a very slippery slope.
You very soon are going to be declared part of Tren de Aragua, if you say it that way. And you'll just be...
Is that how you say it?
Tren de Aragua.
I don't know if they like that feminine push in there. I think they would rather have...
Wait, is there a lot of machismo in that culture?
I feel like you got to put a little something else on there, yeah.
Well, then why did you come to the United States?
Yeah,
it's just, but like the story we did yesterday as well, where there's 3 top Yale professors who all study fascism. One guy, the way he put it is, I study fascist rhetoric. And it's like, bye, bish, bye. They're all going to Canada because we've studied fascism. And we can see the writing on the wall. When are left-wingers that are actually thinking going to understand that just because the right is winning, it doesn't mean it goes Hitler? Like maybe it goes Napoleon. Oh, but he's a proto-Hitler. Like it's just, it plays into their worst fears. Now, I think Kanye West these days, or excuse me, his real name's Ye. I think Ye these days is playing into the stereotype of the left-wing villain and bad guy, like he's explicitly doing so. But when I look at Trump going around the Middle East this week, I'm not seeing, like, fascism. I'm seeing a guy who wants to make a bunch of money and a bunch of deals, and maybe this is actually the path to peace, is that, we have economic development. You lean into a younger generation of people that are tired of the radicalism and just, want jobs and stuff for their people. That maybe, just might, work. But as all this is going on, did y'all both see the James Comey post?
Yeah.
With the seashells?
Yeah. I thought the post was silly. I thought some of the reactions were sillier.
Yeah. But, I mean, apparently that's being pushed in a lot of protests, too, where it says 8647. And so a lot of folks, you might be like, it's silly, but, do we know who Thomas Matthew Crooks is, really?
Nope.
Given the guy almost had his head blown off on national television, and then when you asked AI about it, it said, no, Donald Trump hadn't been shot. He wasn't. Nobody tried to assassinate him. And, like, all the main corporate press just stopped talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
They'll still talk about January 6th. They'll still talk about Charlottesville. But, literally misses them by less than an inch, and not a big deal. Another big assassination attempt right after that. But we can have the former FBI director just say, 8647. Let's go for it, right? And it's just, this guy, as we established last week, we're in the middle of all this stuff. But I want him to succeed because it seems like there are all sorts of forces, powers that be, whatever you want to call it, the deep state, yada, 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 that doesn't want peace. They want more war around the world, and they would love to see Americans rip each other apart while ignoring them. The people actually running this country to the ground. They exist in the GOP. They exist in the Democratic Party. Some you don't even know their names. And in fact, they fund both parties to their satisfaction. And this is the trick they've been pulling for what? At least 2 decades now. Instead of looking at us, the elite who are doing crappy work, well, enriching ourselves, but bailing out the big banks, starting more wars, as the health of Americans continues to fall off a cliff, they tell you, well, hate your brother because, he doesn't look like you. Like the latest push by Democrats, they're pushing reparations again.
Yeah.
Really going to bring the country together with that sort of nonsense.
That's just what they want to push. That's the narrative they're putting out there, hoping people buy it.
Right. Or, maybe, we're going to make Luigi Mangione a hero.
They're putting it out there, hoping somebody will buy it.
So it's, all this serious stuff. We could get into Tulsi Gabbard herself saying, no, I think Comey should be in prison for what he did. But we'll see. I doubt. The Secret Service will probably give him a knock on the door, be like, what's up, James?
Right.
Jim, come on, man. You didn't know about this, Jim?
Yeah.
Come on, Jim. Connected. Now, as you look at the nuts and bolts of the big, beautiful bill, Trump's tax bill is in danger in a House committee. So Trump is out there pushing this again and again. And it really is, at this point, incredibly frustrating. On the campaign trail, it was promised. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security beneficiaries. In particular, that one needs to pass. It's the damnedest thing. You pay taxes your whole life, saying it's your money in a secure account that the government has created for you. And then when they start giving you your money back, they tax it again. That has to end, right now. But it's also overtime taxes. It's interest payments on American-made cars. All this stuff was promised. It must be delivered, but they want to push it to a third tranche of action. And it's too expensive. We can't figure out the cuts. But the cuts that we're putting into Medicaid, we're going to backload them into the 10-year budget window. It's just more of the same. And This is what I mean by the usual crowd up there. All the fugazi they press all day, every day. It doesn't actually reflect what their real priorities. The real priority is to keep the gravy train going, keep the wars going, keep the spending going, keep Americans dumb, deaf, independent, and drugged up to their heart's content while they keep ripping us off blind. And then, eventually a AI robot can be your girlfriend, right?
No.
No, you don't want to do that?
Nah.
Well, both of y'all are happily married men.
Yes.
So I think you'll get this point I'm about to make. But it really is, you see, have an AI friend, or even, God forbid, have an AI robot. You can go to, I've never done it on Grok, but you can go to the romantic or the sexy time thing, and it's just a voice conversation with AI.
Is it, Joey? How would you know?
Never done
It's
that.
right there on the option.
Oh, okay.
I can pull it up right now. We could try it together, but it says not safe for work.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And especially if we let it read the history, then oof.
Yeah, you can look at all my history. You can throw all that out there. Go ahead. I'm a little less depraved than I was when you first met me.
Oh, that's good.
Just a little, though.
But the internet's forever.
Indeed. Oh, y'all can look up my internet history if they ever want to, embarrass me.
There's a rumor out there of you being in a dress.
Well, that one I posted myself. That was the red dress run in New Orleans.
That
Yeah.
I feel like my search history would just frighten people.
Mine would just be a lot of food. Mine's not as deprived as people might think it is. A lot of food.
Deprived?
Can you deep fry peanut butter? ?
Yes, you can.
Yes,
you can deep fry anything.
Deep fried butter, one of the best things I ever had in my life.
If you deep fried butter, you said?
Yeah, I got one of those fair food things, and best thing ever.
But no, the AI companionship thing freaks me out.
Yeah, and it's one thing, I'll use this stuff it is fun, the argue setting's fun, because you really can just debate this thing, and it actually throws good counter arguments back at you. The unhinged mode is funny. It's truly unhinged and ridiculous.
For 2 seconds, it's funny.
It's okay, all right, so calm down. But the actual, research tools are just talking out a problem and stuff. You got to double check it, but it's pretty sound and pretty great. But if you're trying, like Zuckerberg was talking the other day, to have AI like be your friend.
Dude, is it any worse than the OnlyFans girlfriend experience that people have, or they just, just text back and forth?
Well, that's ostensibly still a real person on the other end, but it makes my point as well. Is there are so many guys in the loneliness crisis, as we might call it, where they have just gone headlong into that world. And then the sadder part is not just like the single guy that has lost any motivation or desire. You're talking about married men that ruin their family's wealth because they jump on that stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's transgressive. It's that secret life thing that Oscar Wilde might put it, that Bunbury.
So what do lonely single women do? Just get cats?
They're also up to some odd stuff.
Yeah, and I think Eddie made a sort of a great point there whenever he brought up the OnlyFans thing. I think that the OnlyFans phenomenon is actually more indicative of what Joey's saying than anything, because if you think about it, why would this billion-dollar industry pop up pretty much overnight?
Yeah.
Whenever there's unlimited free pornography online for anyone to watch right now, and that's because even though the actual illicitness of the content is actually less so in the vast majority of cases,
right?
Because you can find some hardcore stuff just for freezies.
Yeah.
But it's that sort of internal idea that you are having an actual connection with a human being, even if it is unrealistic and based on monetary value.
But what if AI is $10 a month cheaper?
Say that again?
What if AI is $10 a month cheaper than my OnlyFans girlfriend?
Do you think most people would choose the AI? I mean, why?
Because you can customize her like it's a video game.
Yeah, but you don't want it to be customized. You want it to be real. And even though OnlyFans isn't real,
well, you say that, but then you have the guys that have already gone into the sex doll world where they just tote them around like it's the girlfriend.
Well, everyone has a different kink, but if you look at like systemic issues in society, it's not that men have a lack of access to sexual content. It's they have a lack of access to sexual contact.
Yes.
And OnlyFans is a real person. You know, the same way that like looking at pornography is a real person. But the difference is they're communicating with you, and this is a real person. The AI thing, it's like, I mean, there are some people that are really into those sex video games, but not nearly as much as the amount of people into OnlyFans.
Well, and is the rule, I guess, it's real because I pay for it? Which is like, that seems to be the line. It's because I'm having to pay for it, it seems like a more real experience. It's like somebody gets addicted to sports gambling. Like the game becomes more real and exciting because I pay for it or I put money on it.
Yeah.
So there's more stakes in these things. But I think AI and a lot of the tools coming up will be amazing. I mean, we'll see. There's this one story. It's named Baby KJ was dying. Doctors edited his DNA like a Google Doc. He was born with a super rare genetic disorder, like 1 in 1.3 million rare. And doctors basically told his parents, this is really bad, we don't know. But then they came up with a custom fix, actually rearranged, let's say, the code in his DNA, and the baby's doing fine now, like developing normally. And so you hear stuff like that. These tools will be used, I think, for a lot of great things. A lot of great things. But I could go into what the Pope recently said, but instead I'm working my way through. As y'all know, I love the Stephen Fry's retellings of the old Greek myths. And this week, on May the 13th, it dropped his retelling of the Odyssey. And it made me think about the moment we're in now. In particular, for a while, spoiler alert on a 2,500-year-old story. But Odysseus is stuck. He's on his way back from the Trojan War. He's the one who comes up with the Trojan horse. He's the schemer. He's the one who's really sly. He's the great-great-great-grandson of Hermes, the trickster god. So he's wise, almost too clever for his own good. And as he's leaving, as they're trying to get back home to Ithaca, get back home to his wife Penelope, he goes through this whole thing, but he's eventually stuck on an island all by himself with the nymph Calypso, who's eternally beautiful, is trying to make him fall in love with her, giving him all the things he could ever desire, and is, again, eternally, immortally beautiful. Eventually, things I don't have to go into, the father of the god Zeus says, hey, you got to let him go back home. Let him leave. Let him go back home. And so there's this final meal, this final night, where Calypso is trying to get Odysseus to at least because he's really excited. He finally gets to leave after being stuck there 7 years. It's like, finally I get to go back to my home. And she says to him, have I not been good to you? And am I not like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? And his response like hit me like a ton of bricks, because you could see AI, you could see the OnlyFans thing, you could see it's not just, sexual stuff. It could be the Andrew Tate, cigars and fast cars and beating people up and, taking advantage of people with your stupid groupie coin. But it's that sort of artificial that looks beautiful on the outside. But she says, am I not immortally beautiful? I've not treated you correctly. He goes, yes, you are. You're probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen, but you are immortally beautiful. You'll never be beautiful like a woman, like my wife, whom 20 years I have not seen her, and her face is probably wrinkled. She's probably changed. The world has probably not been well to her, just as like not been well to me. But when I see her, I know it will be her. And you will never compare to that. It's a 2,500-year-old story. And it is realer than you can imagine. Yeah. And y'all are both married men. You kind of get what he's saying more than me. But it hit me like a ton of bricks. Because the promise of all the artificial and to, tickle all the pleasure centers and, give you everything you want. You can live in a pod or whatever. Doesn't compare to the real. Even if the real isn't as perfect. Even if the real isn't as beautiful or all the other things. And that's going to be the big question going forward. Where do we actually find our struggles? And I hope it's not in politics, because, again, the more I watch a lot of the unhinged rants, the more I find myself going, this is just not healthy. It's Fugazi. It's no good. Anyway, I want to get more into the details of this DNA fix. It is kind of crazy what they did for this baby. Now, a lot of folks saying, well, let's wait a few years. A lot of the CRISPR technologies have led to cancers before we'll see down the line. But this kid was seemingly doomed. 1 in $1.3 million, or not million dollar, odds of 1 in 1.3 million rare disease. And they were able to fix it, it seems like, for now, which is incredible. Apple also unveils brain control tech, encouraging folks to get the chip so they can control all their tech with the brain chip. Again, the paraplegic, the guy with ALS, these folks are really amazing technology, but is my life really going to be that much better if I can just have a third layer AI that does a bunch of looks things up for me? I mean, in some ways, it's like this promise of superpowers in a way.
Yeah.
But is it really going to make me better? And how does that enslave me to some other master? It's a good question.
I think the glasses are about as far as I would consider going.
Right. Actually chipping yourself?
No spank you.
Here's the only thing I've ever thought about the whole chipping thing. When you have children that get snatched up on the regular, how else could you guarantee that you could track a child? I mean, I just always wondered, because children get snatched up.
Like one of the most, I think, beautiful, and again, y'all can speak to this better than me, and I've talked to my brother about it, one of the most beautiful, natural, honorable, noble instincts is to protect your child.
Sure.
To where you will kill on behalf of your child. You will be killed. You'll give your own life for that child. But understanding how strong of a drive that is, and you've seen it, I'm sure, time and time again, it's for the children, guys.
Yes, yeah.
We have to do this thing, this, that, or the other. You need this new technology. You need this new law because you want to protect your child, don't you? And I think there are a lot of very awful people that play on that noble, natural instinct that's there. And so, yeah, you might be like, is it actually healthy to be able to track your child every single place they go?
When I say child,
that's not how you grew up.
No. It was a good thing.
Right.
I don't think he's talking about like a 12-year-old, are you? Yeah.
No, I guess the world I'm in now, and I see it a lot, of just child abductions, period.
Yeah.
And now more than ever, I see more and more people 20 years later where the person actually gets found or says, hey, I know I was abducted. And I've always just thought the technology in the world we live in today, how can that happen? How can that happen?
I think it's people on the inside. It's definitely people looking the other way.
Right.
Who are complicit.
But to your point, if Joey suddenly came out tomorrow with a chip that would help track my child, I can't promise I'd buy it because of Joey's person.
But you see the dilemma I'm setting it.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much of that where we're being hooked into something that is very inhuman, it seems. Whether it's for pleasure, like come over to Pleasure Island, we'll give you all your desires. That never works out. It really doesn't.
Well, I'm telling you, AI and automation, it already has, and it's only going to make things more and more interesting because, automation, that takes care of your blue-collar workers, and then now AI is going to take care of everything that our intellectuals should have done. So then what the heck is anyone going to do for money? Like what?
That's my struggle too.
Yeah.
And the only thing I have to compare it with is Dubai. Those folks have more money than anything. They don't have to work.
Right.
But I honestly, what do they do with their time? Because I could see us being that way. We don't have to work.
Well, and Elon said this at the Saudi U.S. forum, that it won't be like, because people bring this up, what is there left to do?
Yeah.
Well, we'll give a basic guaranteed income. You won't earn money. You'll essentially just get a stipend. And Elon's point is like, no, it won't be basic guaranteed. It'll probably be very high income for we'll be producing so much at such a low rate that you could probably produce whatever people want. And then the question becomes, well, what do you want?
Yeah, what do you want? And I mean, I don't know how that world works over there, but what do those folks do?
Well, what do y'all do on the
during
weekend?
I should show houses.
See, you're always working. You're a bad example. You're always on your frickin' phone. I did like some of the realtor videos you sent me.
Were they right?
Right. But like you're learning how to blacksmith, how to forge.
Yeah.
I'd imagine if you didn't have to write or work for money, you could write what you wanted, number one, and you could spend as much time as you needed forging.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, no, you could really, and I think this might open up amazing things for people that have the right mentality. Like, I want to master a certain skill. I want to spend a lot of time with people on a particular thing.
Except
It frees up your time.
Like have bought a house on the lake because they love to fish. Hadn't fished in 20 years.
Oh, I know. And this is the disconnect.
You get what you want, and then you're suddenly like, I got other stuff to do.
Yeah, but I don't know. But sometimes it's like, you see people that fall in love with a thing, or obviously a person. Like, you get to spend more time with your family, with your close friends.
Right.
Like, how many times do you go to church? Maybe you're going to church, so to speak, all the time. You're just hanging out with folks doing things together.
Or maybe you're just sitting on the couch with that IV of...
Yeah, or you could do that. There's many paths to this, and I think as much as there's doomsday to some of this stuff, and the dystopian threat is very real, I think it still does come down to people. Like, what do you actually value? What is your highest good?
You trust people more than I do. I don't
trust people.
Giving it up to people, letting them to pick their own faith in that sense. Most people do wrong. I have no faith in them, doing anything good at all. And I look at around us, our politicians, the ones that we've actually elected to be leaders. We all know they're screwing us. But
sure. Well, because they can.
Right.
Yeah.
We could do something about it, but less than 20% of us do.
No, but what are we going to do about it?
If more than 20% of the people voted, that would be
then we throw those bums out, and you better
get
believe
some more bums in.
Yeah, you better
eventually, you get that cycle going. We had to do it at Hyundai. If you sucked, we fired you, and eventually, we had enough people there that didn't suck.
But I do think it comes down to like the classic, the old things, like the values you find in the Bible, the values you find in old epic tales that have survived to this day. Like, that stuff's still as real as it was thousands of years ago, and that should still guide you. And in fact, will be the only thing that will probably give you a true north as you're encountering all this stuff. Especially, I can't imagine, like, your kids, as they grow up.
Oh, yeah.
I can't imagine what they're going to see, what they're going to encounter. It's probably amazing things and incredibly frightening.
We're going to finally get the flying car?
No, I don't think we're going to get the flying car. I think we might get the, like everything essentially turns into a rail, a high-speed rail, and your car just sort of hangs out there and shoots you along.
I can see that.
That's how I see it
Power
before
rail,
I die. Mass transportation.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
So, and by the way, you asked about, like, the Emirates and what are they doing with all that money?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know what they're doing.
There is a great clip, and somebody captioned it perfectly. It's Trump with some of the royalty there. And they're unveiling this model city they're building.
Oh yeah, when they
and then it rises up from the table, and it's like it's beautifully like ornate, like this perfect little model town in this spectacular architecturally designed room. Like, and Trump is sitting there going like, "Damn it, they got all these nice things and toys, and I got to argue with somebody over what a smelt is."
Yeah.
because I can't
Sad
build a
but true.
freaking dam. Like,
Yep.
and there is something right now about our country where, in the name of freedom, we've created this middle manager gatekeeper class that are all professionals. I'm a professional in the FBI. I'm a professional in education. I'm in yada yada yada, and yet I think what they do is they hold us back
hold you
from
back.
creating
Yeah.
and having great things.
They do hold you back. A lot of times out of jealousy.
Yeah. So,
but again, that's man. You're putting your faith in man. I don't have that faith.
No, I'm not putting my faith in man.
At what point, let's say we go to that utopian world where you don't have to work. What percentage of the population just here in the States do you think will be a productive citizen compared to how many will just be absolute pieces?
Everybody, by definition, will be not productive in that world.
In a sense of that, they will actually.
It's more
do something
productive
to
for the
contribute.
machines and the AI to do it.
They contribute something to society instead of sucking off society.
So our job will be to do inferior work in more time than our machine overlords?
No, do something you really care about, whether it is crafting something with your hands or,
I
teaching
love the
your kid
idea
to do
of it.
something.
I just don't trust people. I mean, first chance I get a robot, I ain't mowing the grass no more.
Well,
Robot's
a good
mowing.
way to maybe think of it is like, instead of 100 years, if that, you got 1,000 years. What are you going to do? It's like, it's brought up in movies like Groundhog Day. Like, if you're just on this loop repeat, do you learn piano? And then, sure, it's at a certain point you might want it to end. Like, that sort of idea of it never ends is also haunting as much as it's something people want. But no, it's not I'm putting my trust in man. I'm saying this is just the way things are going. And I'm saying man needs to start putting his trust in things that he himself didn't make. Because we're making things that are upsetting every single tradition, that are removing us from what's real in this world.
I see where you're going, but I still don't trust it.
Well,
God, I feel old saying that.
you could say God, and then you can put your trust in God, and then you're like, well,
but then when I see these things that seem to be unnatural,
which pope, which pastor, which
I like the Pope.
There's always, but there's always the human element. We're not God, and it's more you have to have faith in those things that again you didn't make, and that can point you in a better direction and get you going in that. And not to say tragedy won't befall you. It's not
you
like
also have to plan for that failure.
I've always hated, maybe it was being raised Roman Catholic, the whole prosperity gospel thing. If you do the right thing, all this good. I mean, ever heard of Job? Like, come on. Like, I've always thought that was absurd and ridiculous. And honestly, we're hitting the point of there's so much uncertainty. This stuff has so much promise, all this new tech, but I'd imagine it's not going to, they're overselling it.
Well, sure, you got to a little
Obviously.
bit. You got to hype it up.
Right. So some folks might want to be a better blacksmith. Some folks might want to spend more just time with family and friends. Some folks might want to go to Mars or whatever. There's all sorts of things you might do.
But think about the parents that are going to, as soon as that kid can walk or talk, here's your robot. And that's who's going to raise that kid.
No, but that comes back to people.
Again, who suck.
Yeah, but aren't people also awesome?
By themselves, persons, yes. As a group, no.
See, you're a mixed bag because you come back from like babysitting the grandkids and you're over the moon.
Oh,
you're
yeah,
like smiling
yeah.
like you slept with a coat hanger in
Yeah.
your mouth. Like,
Yeah.
And then some days after you get done real estate and you're just like burn it all down. You're an anarchist.
Right. You depend on other people. And other people suck.
Right. Don't be. People say I'm cynical.
It-
I'm more trying to balance this out.
It's a tough balance. But you're right, though. Depends on what's going on. Some days, yesterday was a good day. Things were going great. No canceled deals.
272-9228. We got to hit this break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you fellas out. If you are feeling run down and tired all the live long day, you're never in the mood, no libido or sex drive to speak of, you're seeing unwanted weight gain, loss of muscle mass. It's not like necessarily even your habits. It's like your metabolism is just shot.
Yep.
Whatever you do feels like you're trudging through mud, and you got that brain fog going on. Well, it very well could be, especially all those symptoms rolled together, low testosterone. And Montgomery Men's Health, they are ready to help you out with a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. It's really just a quick blood draw, and they ask you a few basic quality of life questions, see how you're doing. And then they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health if low T is in fact your problem that can truly change men's lives. In fact, treatments that'll make you feel better the very same day. After these treatments, men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, you usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
In May, it's time to save at Pizza Perfect. Get $3 off any large pizza. Pizza Perfect is known for its buffet, which includes pizza, as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. This month, get $3 off any large pizza at Pizza Perfect on Coliseum Boulevard in Eastbrook. Available for carryout and delivery.
This Memorial Day, turn up the heat with the Home Depot. Find the perfect grill and patio set to keep the cookouts coming all season long. Grill up a feast with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill, only $229. And complete your space with the stylish Glen Ridge Falls 7-piece dining set, now on special buy for just $499 with free delivery. Take your Memorial Day cookout to the next level all summer long with the Home Depot. See homedepot.com/delivery for more details.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. You're thinking of selling your home. Here are several ways to improve the look of your home and possibly the value. Number 1, improve the curb appeal with trim bushes and cut the grass. Repaint the exterior where needed, and if needed, paint your front door. Number 2, declutter the inside of the home by removing items that are not needed off countertops, dressers, and the den. 3, paint walls and trim where needed with a fresh coat of paint in a light color that will show off your home. 4, clean your oven and microwave inside and out, make it shine. Number 5, professionally clean carpets or shine the wood floors with a polish or Bona. 6, clean out all closets or unwanted clothes, shoes, belts, hats, and donate them to a local charity. Finish any leftover repairs now, doorknobs, light bulbs, and closet doors. For a complete list and an in-person evaluation and consultation, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We are jumping right into summertime with the temperatures and the humidity. Today, cloudiness gives way to sunshine with a high temperature up to about 93. And those dew points are getting higher, so you're going to start to feel that humidity more and more today and especially over the weekend. Partly cloudy, low temperature near 70 tonight. Highs near 90 on Saturday and Sunday, but higher humidity and spotty, random afternoon and evening storms here and there. They will be few and far between, and lows at night right around 70. We'll continue in the low 90s on Monday and Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Let's go to Papa John on line 3. Hey, Papa John, how you doing?
Hey, guys.
Hey, buddy.
Good to talk to you.
Yeah, hey Eddie, it looks like, and I'm listening here trying to connect all the dots that y'all are throwing out there, but I have kind of organized in my mind about AI and what it can do, what it's capable of, what are you using it for? For me, it looks like it's three things. One is combat evil, like you were talking about putting a chip in your child. I don't see a need for a chip in your child if you're around goodness and not evil. Number two, I think it also will compensate for your lack of capability or incentive, which in some cases I guess could be okay, but again, I think it just promotes lack of motivation to live life. The third thing I think it does is it goes and takes advantage of its own capabilities to save you time. Well, what are you doing when you're saving time? You're promoting idleness. And I had to wrap this all up with, I can remember my grandmother saying, I can hear her voice right now. She said, idle hands are the devil's workshop. Yeah. So I personally have not seen anybody that completely retires that, number one, maintains their health, and number two, promotes some other kind of good actions in their own life. It just doesn't happen a whole lot. People are not built that way.
No, I think there's a lot of wisdom in that even if, say, all this stuff comes, the so-called superabundance, you still need to do something with those hands that's productive.
Yeah, personally, I retired 5 times, 6 times, whatever. And even when I made myself do things that I do to fill time, most of the time it really is not that satisfying. I remember when my dad retired at 60. But finally, he said you can play so much golf and fish so much before it gets boring. So you got to do something else. And if it's not something that gives you satisfaction of some kind and keeps not just your hands, but your entire being busy in one way or another, eventually it's going to lead to something that's not good for you.
Well, and if you are liberated, let's say, from drudgery, I think the word is find play. Like where it isn't just the golf, or like if that gets boring, find something else. And play could be all sorts of things. But that should be kind of the word.
Joey, you're talking again about having some kind of incentive. And where's your incentive going to come from? Unless it's from some deep desire you've got or had in your lifetime that you never had time for. And most people are not that organized. I wish they were. Anyway, you guys it's really a great discussion today. So don't let mine interrupt you. Keep up, okay?
Appreciate it, Papa.
Thank you, Papa John.
Guys.
See you, buddy.
272-9228. Since ChatGPT launched in late 2022, students have been among its most avid adopters. When the rapid growth in users stalled in the late spring of 23, it briefly looked like the AI bubble might be popping, but growth resumed that September. The cause of the decline was simply summer break. Wow. Even as other kinds of organizations struggle to use a tool that can be strikingly powerful and surprisingly inept in turn, AI's utility to students asked to produce 1,500 words on Hamlet, or The Great Leap Forward, was immediately obvious, and is the source of the current campaigns by OpenAI and others to offer student discounts as a form of customer acquisition. Every year, 15 million or so undergraduates in the United States produce papers and exams running to billions of words. While the output of any given course is student assignments, papers, exams, research projects, and so on, the product of that course is student experience. Learning results from what the student does and thinks, as the great educational theorist Herbert Simon once noted, and only as a result of what the student does and thinks. The assignment itself is a MacGuffin with the shelf life of sour cream and an economic value that rounds to $0. It is valuable only as a way to compel student effort and thought. And this is just the opening of papers. The Chronicle of Higher Education is AI enhancing education or replacing it. Again, I think y'all got to come up with new MacGuffins. that are more difficult to figure out. To where the AI bot can't, it can very quickly, number one, give you 1,500 words on Hamlet. But if you're a teacher, you should very quickly, like you're good writing,
you would be able to tell your students' work.
Well, yeah, and you should be able to tell when the bot wrote it.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not that difficult.
It's almost like when the Nigerian prince sends you an email. If you look at it close enough, you usually see some, oh, wait, here's some red flags right here.
Right. And so, the hard truth might be that some of the teachers, y'all ain't as good as you thought you were.
Maybe
We now have a tool that can give a better MacGuffin for people to go and pursue.
Maybe several teachers have it on autopilot.
Oh, sure. And so, faced with generative AI in our classrooms, the obvious response for us is to influence students to adopt the helpful uses of AI while persuading them to avoid the harmful ones. Our problem is that we don't know how to do that. Well, and again, it's going to be up to a lot of these kids and a lot of these students. But it's just common sense that if you actually are relying on this thing to just do your work, then you're not really...
You're not learning nothing.
You're not really pursuing something. But some of this is the way, at least in my college experience, God bless Auburn, I miss living there, and I had a good time there. But a lot of it is like, I showed up thinking, okay, I'm done with high school. I can now craft a curriculum that fits my interests. It's like, nah, man.
This is your
You
choices.
got 2 years of stuff we want you to, you have to do that you don't really want to. And so I think a lot of the university systems, there are some universities where it's a little more loosey-goosey in that regard, and they let you kind of do what you want. But most of them, it's still incredibly structured to slow you down, to keep you in a box. And I can't tell you how many times in the classes I was actually interested in, I would bring something up, like, when are we going to be able to study this? And they go, that's graduate school level. I'm like, why not right now?
Yeah.
So I think some of this, the problem with AI in education isn't just the AI, it's revealing the really faulty spots of the actual university system.
Well, why do you think you have to wait till graduate school? Is graduate school free?
Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, and in some cases, it's like, well, we weed out all the dummies and the people that don't want to work hard, and now you have this very small, like you got 10 people along with you.
Chances are that'll weed out on its own when it gets a little bit too hard.
Right. So, well, did you ever do the school experience? I don't know if I've asked you about that.
Like second grade.
You got out at second grade?
Dude, I got
No, I mean, I only did second grade in like a real school.
Oh, so what was the rest? How?
Oh, I mean, I grew up
homeschooling?
in, I was homeschooled in China.
Well, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And see, so you have an experience that if your folks could have dropped an AI tool in front of you, I think you and they would have just been fine. It's just another tool in this self-learning experience.
Yeah, I would have figured out how to do things in RuneScape, probably, more than likely.
Right, how to code. You literally would have learned how to code.
One of my biggest
Well,
regrets
you were in China. I mean, you had that option already.
One of
Come
my
on.
biggest regrets is not learning more about computers not learning more about anything when I was young. I really didn't know how to read until I was in my early 20s.
Just
comprehension?
Didn't want to?
Well, no, I mean, I was a scumbag. I was a drug addict. That was my fun times. Like commas.
I bet you could
semicolons,
add and subtract
mysteries.
pretty damn good.
Only in grams, Joe.
Yeah.
Only in grams.
Yeah, don't say only a certain weight, sir.
A kilo is 1,000 grams. It's easy to remember.
You had his little song?
I've heard that
no,
song
no,
before.
I can't remember who that is, but it's the first time I put it together. And one of the reasons why I prefer the metric system infinitely more, just those divisions of 10 make everything so much easier.
Absolutely.
It's so funny though. Here in Alabama, you guys are probably maybe too young, but they tried to bring in metric system just on the mileage signs.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Oh, people
we'd
got
even make
mad.
it through the whole state. Then it become an argument for like 3 years. Then they finally said, "All right, go pick up the damn signs."
Yeah.
No,
You can't mix and match. That's what
That was the
People
thing, though.
mix
You
and
could
match.
mix and match. It
Like
doesn't
when I
work
try to
that
find
way.
a socket set, like it's
Yeah.
oh my god, drives me nuts. It's like, can we just pick a lane?
Just pick one.
Because it's not like you can't say, you can't say it's a mile and 28 feet. It's like we're going to stick to meters and kilometers and grams and kilograms and
But it's
micrograms.
so much easier.
So much easier.
How much is an elbow?
That's a pound.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just thinking of a hit
I
song
don't
from a
work on
Montgomery
it.
group.
Yeah,
when I
what's
was
that
coming up.
Montgomery? It was 20 elbows or 10 elbows, something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
So it's not
Deuce Comrades, I think.
Yeah, Deuce Comrades. It's actually a catchy tune.
Oh yeah.
I got 20 elbows.
Yeah,
There's a
no,
whole story
and-
about going from Birmingham up to Chicago.
Well,
to
and
pick up a
if
couple
they're still
elbows.
around, they're probably happy about Katie Britt joining in on the Widen 65 thing. Like, bring my elbows down faster.
I'm hearing. There's hardly any cops on 65 these days. It feels like, especially in the Montgomery area.
Yeah, I know, man.
Or 85. It's like I think crime, like road crime, is just legal in Montgomery now.
Oh, it's awful. But again, I think you guys were probably too young. But in Montgomery, man, for a while we were the busting kings. I mean, we were busting 18-wheelers full of weed. We were busted. I mean, it was coming through 85. They cracked down, and then one day.
Yeah, Prattville was apparently a huge hub for like human trafficking.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the stuff that you don't know that's in your own backyard, where it's just like, ugh.
Well, if you think about it, Prattville's really the perfect spot for it because you got Montgomery right there to hit 85. Yep. You go an hour down the road, you're at 20. You're heading up. So it really
very rural and spread out.
Very rural, and it's not a whole lot of stuff going on. It's close enough to all the arteries, but far away enough that you can probably
2
get away
miles
with
off
some
one of those
shenanigans.
main arteries. You're out in the bush.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, there was that freaking what was that meth farm that they broke up a couple of years ago.
That was literally a meth farm.
Just this giant farmhouse filled with hippies making meth.
Well, and then didn't they break up one too, or was like a fencing operation where everything that was stolen would be stored there?
Again, I'm telling you, dude, the Prattville area is like it's like a hub for a lot of criminal stuff.
Was it 40 up there? County Road 40?
It's unfortunate because you couldn't find a decent dime bag 15 years ago.
Because there was a trend where it's like, where are all the carburetors going?
No, it's not carburetors.
What was it?
I'm sorry. Now I can't think.
Was it
Catalytic
jury?
converters.
Yeah, catalytic converters. Yes.
In fact, there was a headline the other day. They busted some guy. Apparently, he made like $6 million.
Damn.
So it's like, how long did it take? Is it because he's only going to do maybe 10 years? So if I go steal $6 million worth and only have to do 10 years,
and now I'm sitting here wondering if he was homeschooled. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. Can you call up Austin? And they're at River Region Contracting. Todd Clark and his team are ready to help you with that roof of yours. You got to get the roof checked on a regular basis, folks. A lot of manufacturers say every 3 to 5 years, but we've been suggesting here with River Region Contracting, why not do it on an annual basis? Because the good news is their inspections are always free, as are their estimates. So say they find a problem, they're going to write up that estimate for free, and it's going to be accurate. They show up on time, do it well, and they're insurance specialists, so they can walk you through that insurance claims process, make it a swift and easy experience. And, when you're getting that inspection done on a regular basis, you're going to just have peace of mind. They say you got no problems, or you're going to find problems early where they really aren't all that terrible, all that expensive at all. There's Rich Thomas's alarm clock. Y'all check out River Region Contracting today. That number, 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. Again, 272-9228 if you want to join in on our conversation here. Or we're waiting. We're in a holding pattern right now. I get it. I mean, I'm usually pretty good at filling time. I'm just enjoying looking at Eddie like sitting there waiting at the moment.
You enjoy filling time?
Yeah.
Do you think you enjoy filling?
No, don't. There you go. Hey, Austin Barenko with Invista Advisors. Hey, Austin, how you doing?
Joey, I'm actually listening to you guys right now in the background, and I heard you say you're waiting. I was like, oh, crap. I looked down at my phone, and Eddie's calling.
Well, good to hear from you, man. Good to have you on the show. So, what a whirlwind this foreign trip has been. And, seeing all the foreign investments, a bit crazy. And then another thing I'll throw at you, it's like all these predictions of a recession, all these predictions of a huge price shock from the tariffs, it doesn't seem to have materialized yet.
Yeah, so I think that the modern market is moving a lot quicker than historically. And one way that I look at the recent pullback is, bad news hits the market quicker and good news recovers the market quicker. So, we had a severe pullback, but in the last month, the market's rallied almost 13%, which has pretty much erased the swift pullback. And I think that kind of the bad news of these huge tariffs, and then the good news is he's starting to strike deals pretty consistently and very publicly, is what's caused this rally. The question I have, and I'd love to know someone that has the answer, I don't think anyone does, is this breath in the market, the pullback and quick recovery, all of the volatility that we need to expect through the remainder of between now and midterms, or is this Is there a larger problem, which a lot of your technical analysts have said exists, and we're overlooking it, and we are going to get a severe, pullback materialize at some point? I don't know. Most of the people that are saying that, the technicals are off and we're overextended and there's no way to recover this, I think we're shocked to see the speed of this recovery. As the market was pulling down over the last, 6 weeks or 6 weeks ago, everyone's like, yes, this is what we knew was happening. The world's coming to an end. We knew it. And then just a few little tweaks here and public announcements from the administration on some of these deals, and the market just zooms right back to where it was. So it's got a lot of professionals scratching their heads. I think that's why it's important to just be conservatively allocated at a time of volatility. We've fared pretty well here at our firm. We lean a little bit more conservative than most, so we don't really partake in the heavy swings like the pure market. But it's a wild time to be watching these swings. The speed of the market has accelerated tremendously. But just a general look at the market today, of the 11 sectors, 9 of them are positive. The only 2 that are down are tech and energy, and they're barely down. So it's just a sweeping recovery across the market. I don't know if you guys have talked about it today, but one thing I'm looking at is it looks like, Trump's tax cuts bill, the beautiful bill, as he says, has been rejected. A few of the Republicans have teamed up with the Dems on this to reject that. That's something that we've been watching. Thought that might get, pushed through eventually, but they're coming up against some roadblocks there. I think that could have an impact if it continues to drag out. So we'd love to know your thoughts on that, but really just pleased with this quick recovery. And I know our client base is as well.
Oh, yeah, and I think the Congress is the logjam right now. And of course, the outstanding trade deals. And, if markets love certainty, right? So I think the necessary upheaval and uncertainty will eventually stop, and maybe a lot faster than people think. But if Congress doesn't get on top of this, especially with the debt ceiling issue in the middle of all this, that could be very uncertain indeed, and not good for anybody.
Yeah, and I think the next wave of uncertainty we'll face is kind of that 90-day pause. Whenever that's coming up, I think we're probably roughly 30 days into that now. So maybe 60 days from now, the pause on the tariffs on some of those countries, if they haven't struck a deal, will be reenacted, and that could be another bout of volatility. So we're looking at that, and then certainly would love to have Congress, solidify these tax cuts, and then, I think the market would look favorably upon that as well. But all in all, it's been a fantastic week and month for the market. So, everything in the green pretty much across the board for us, and looking forward to a little relaxing this weekend, and hope we can continue this rally early next week.
Here. And folks, if you're looking for this sort of expertise, not just on investments and what's happening in the stock market, but a holistic approach, all of the above approach about getting you and, those you love, your whole financial situation planned out over the future. They've got a great team there at Invista Advisors, Austin, along with the other great folks there that are ready to help you and, again, give you that holistic plan. Call them today at 387-0094. That's 387-0094. And be sure to tell them that, hey, I heard Austin Branco on the radio show with Joey Clark. Want to see what y'all can do for me.
Awesome. Thank you, guys, and you and Eddie and Craig. Have a great weekend.
Appreciate it, Austin.
The opinions voiced in this material are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. All performance referenced is historical and is no guarantee of future results. All indices are unmanaged and may not be invested into directly. The opinions expressed in this material do not necessarily reflect the views of LPL Financial. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC. Investment advice is offered through Invista Advisors, registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial.
Second hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Fiscal hawks on the House Budget Committee have blocked the budget bill backed by Donald Trump. House Republicans failed by 5 votes today to move it out of the Budget Committee. 5 GOP budget hardliners demanded further cuts to Medicaid, green energy tax breaks, and other changes. The first direct peace talks between Russia and Ukraine since the early weeks of Moscow's 2022 invasion ended after less than 2 hours with only one specific agreement, an exchange of prisoners. President Trump says he may call Russian President Vladimir Putin soon after Putin skipped the peace talks in Turkey. President Trump says Iran has an American proposal over its rapidly advancing nuclear program as negotiations between the two countries go on. On Wall Street, the Dow up 220 points, the Nasdaq adding 58. This is SRN News.
Right now, with an important alert, home title fraud is one of the fastest growing white-collar crimes in the country. Criminals can make millions on your house without you even knowing it. Michael, you were one of those criminals?
Yeah, that's right. I was responsible for about $16 million in equity theft and title fraud.
Wow.
And to be honest, it was easy to do. It's just paperwork. So by the time you find out what's happening, the equity in your home is gone.
So how do you keep your property and equity safe? For more, here's Action News reporter Ron Stevens.
Well, Monica, an in-depth investigation found there's actually just one company that prevents this type of crime from happening: Equity Protect. Equity Protect scans, monitors, alerts, and most importantly, protects you from any attempts to tamper with or steal your home equity and ownership 24 hours a day. Other companies merely monitor. Equity Protect stops the crime from happening. Find out if you're already a victim or take a free risk assessment today at equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing.
Hey, this is Robbie Clark. Stay cool with a spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air, and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give us a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We are jumping like right into summertime with the temperatures and the humidity. Today, cloudiness gives way to sunshine with a high temperature up to about 93. And those dew points are getting higher, so you're going to start to feel that humidity more and more today and especially over the weekend. Partly cloudy, low temperature near 70 tonight. Highs near 90 on Saturday and Sunday, but higher humidity and spotty, random afternoon and evening storms here and there. They will be few and far between, and lows at night right around 70. We'll continue in the low 90s on Monday and Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. Arthur Bremer, the gunman convicted of shooting former Alabama Governor George Wallace, completed his sentence Thursday, exactly 53 years to the day after the attempted assassination. Bremer shot Wallace on May 15, 1972, while he was campaigning for president in Laurel, Maryland. Governor Kay Ivey signed the 2 remaining bills in the Safe Alabama Public Safety Package into law on Thursday. The Back the Blue Act strengthens legal protections for law enforcement when exercising force. The Juvenile Accountability and Monitoring Act enhances pretrial detention and electronic monitoring for dangerous juveniles. The River Region Runners Club invites you to the 46th Annual Jubilee Run tomorrow at Old Alabama Town. Come join the excitement of Montgomery's longest-standing competitive running event and help raise money for the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches as well. Lots of awards for the top finishers and door prizes, too. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Hello, this is Pam with All About the Bounce. We have been advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting for a little over a month now and have seen great results. Thank you, Blue Water, for helping us to bring the bounce to more customers across the river region. Radio advertisement is definitely the best advertisement.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
Is your car looking tired, weary, and in desperate need of a makeover? Mr. Ben's Auto Spa on the Atlanta Highway has added a professional detail shop. Specialized techniques and products are used to get your vehicle back to showroom style. Hand washing, waxing, stain removal, odor removal, minor scratch removal, shampooing, and more. This is precision detailing perfected. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa, next to Fraser Church on the Atlanta Highway. Because your car deserves the royal treatment. Come by for a free estimate. Look like you've been to Mr. Ben's.
We've all been fooled by the big box stores, especially when it comes to flooring. They'll get you in with the low prices up front, then hit you with the extra fees, sketchy installs, and surprise charges. But lucky for you, you can enjoy the low prices you want with all the amenities of a locally owned and trusted business during Prattville Carpet's summer sale. Choose tile, luxury vinyl plank, and carpet for your whole home for just $1.39 a square foot. No games, just value.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Call us today for your free measurement. Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk.
Hey man.
Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. And as you just heard from Austin Baranko, House Budget Committee rejects Trump agenda bill in major setback for GOP leader. I'll just read the story. This is from CNBC. The GOP-led House Budget Committee voted to reject a sweeping package for President Donald Trump's agenda on Friday, dealing an embarrassing setback for Republican leaders. The vote in the Budget Committee was 16-21, with 5 conservative hardliners joining all Democrats in voting against the multi-trillion-dollar legislation. After the vote was tallied and read, Representative Jody Arrington, a Republican from Texas, the committee chair, adjourned the hearing and told members they would not be meeting again this weekend. Negotiations with the GOP holdouts will continue in the coming days, and Republicans on the panel will try to regroup as soon as Monday. Republican leaders concede the massive bill isn't ready for prime time and that critical changes will need to be made in the coming days to tax and Medicaid provisions to win over recalcitrant members. In an office near the hearing, House Majority Leader Steve Scalise huddled privately with some of the Freedom Caucus members who serve on the budget panel. Representatives Chip Roy of Texas, Ralph Norman of South Carolina, Andrew Clyde of Georgia, and Josh Brechin of Oklahoma, or Brechin. Freedom Caucus Chairman Andy Harris, who is not on the panel, also joined them. In the hearing, Roy fired a warning shot at Republican leaders, saying he opposes the bill as written because it will increase the deficit. Saying, quote, I have to now admonish my colleagues on this side of the aisle. This bill falls profoundly short. It does not do what we say it does with respect to deficits. That's the truth, Roy continued. Deficits will go up in the first half of the 10-year budget window, and we all know it's true. And we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't say that we're doing something we're not doing. This bill has backloaded savings and has front-loaded spending. I am a no on this bill, Roy said, unless serious reforms are made today, tomorrow, and Sunday. Something needs to change, or you're not going to get my support. He was joined by Norman, who also said the bill needed changes before it could earn his votes. So, of course, all the Democrats voted against it, as you will hear them say. You had a Democrat across the aisle, Representative Brendan Boyle, Democrat from Pennsylvania, preview the Republican divisions at the outset of the hearing, vowing that all Democrats oppose it. Quote, you will hear over the course of this hearing a vigorous debate, and frankly, there is a strong divide between Republican and some other Republicans. There is also a divide between both sets of Republicans in this side of the dais. I can speak at least as to why every Democratic member will be voting no on the bill for billionaires. Congressman. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like you feel after dealing with the Alabama legislature. Just reading that one article.
Yeah.
Like, how can y'all not get this done?
Because that's never what politics is about.
Yep.
Never has been.
Yep. Trump earlier today saying Republicans must unite behind the one big beautiful bill. Not only does it cut taxes for all Americans, but it will kick millions of illegal aliens off of Medicaid to protect it from those who are the ones in real need. The country will suffer greatly without this legislation, with their taxes going up 65%. It will be blamed on the Democrats, but that doesn't help our voters. We don't need grandstanders, that's in all caps, in the Republican Party. Stop talking and get it done. It is time to fix the mess that Biden and the Democrats gave us. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, I guess with Trump traveling overseas, it's not like they were paying much attention to
Right, he
this.
needs to come home, and Daddy needs to come home with the belt.
Yeah, in particular, I'm the more and more I'm in the camp of cut taxes for the working class and middle class. Do the overtime tax cut. Do the no tax on tips, the no tax on Social Security. And even Trump's like, yeah, if you want to raise the top rate to 39% from where it is at like 37% to pay for that, do it. But of course, that's like some sin in the Republican doctrine or something. Or if you just want to continue to cut taxes for everybody, maybe y'all should cut some things. Like maybe just do the rescission cuts, just in good faith.
Yeah.
To good faith to these Freedom Caucus people, let them vote on what Doge has found to show that you mean it. Another crazy aspect of this is like the tariff revenue that is coming in from the 10% that's out there in all these nations. That's not counted in the CBO scoring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, for some reason. That revenue doesn't count.
I wish I could have revenue that don't count, Joey.
They just don't count.
They don't count that.
Oh, what a mess. And, you know, it's not like the Democrats are better. It's just that the Republicans suck.
Just can't get nothing done, man.
So that's the big breaking news.
Still got
Big turd in the
Obamacare.
punch bowl there.
Yeah.
Very, very frustrating indeed. I mean, there was more of a silly thing. Trump took on two, music stars.
Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
Not hot. Taylor Swift
Yeah.
is not hot.
Let me just pull this up, share this, because it's so short and just like out of nowhere. Because Bruce Springsteen did this whole speech at one of his concerts, I think in Manchester, England, and so Trump went after him. But I haven't heard anything that Taylor Swift has done recently. But Trump saying, has anyone noticed that since I said I hate Taylor Swift, she's no longer hot?
Never really was that hot to me.
I don't think that's what he's talking about.
I know.
I think he's saying he's driving the national conversation around who is. And
Well, and also her last album wasn't that great. I don't care they had Post Malone on it. Like, it's just not that good.
I don't think I've listened to a full Post Malone or Taylor Swift song in 15 years.
Yeah, I think that's a good bet.
Yep.
Like, I like pop music, but I hadn't listened to them.
I do. I'm a pop music freak, but they don't do nothing for me.
It's like if I want pop, I'll go to like old school, like NSYNC. Like
Really?
Yeah.
NSYNC?
I like some NSYNC. I like some Backstreet Boys too.
I did it that way.
I'm more of a Backstreet Boys guy.
I could see
If
that.
I had to choose between the two.
I'd actually probably agree.
Wait, or Eddie, you more of an O-Town guy?
No, Color Me Bad kind of guy. Again,
Who-
before y'all's time.
Yeah, what
Wow.
was their
that
hit?
is so sad. I Want to Sex You Up.
Oh, that song. I wanna sex you up.
Yeah,
That's your choice.
yeah, those genre, yeah. Color Me Bad.
Anyway, Trump went on from Taylor Swift, which really just did come out of nowhere, and he put this out saying, I see that highly overrated Bruce Springsteen goes to a foreign country to speak badly about the President of the United States. Never liked him, never liked his music or his radical left policies, and importantly, he's not a talented guy. Just a pushy, obnoxious jerk. Jerk is in all caps. Who fervently supported crooked Joe Biden, a mentally incompetent fool, and our worst ever president who came close to destroying our country. If I wasn't elected, Trump goes on to say, it would have been gone by now. Sleepy Joe didn't have a clue as to what he was doing, but Bruce Springsteen is dumb as a rock and couldn't see what was going on, or could be, which is even worse. This dried out prune of a rocker, his skin is all atrophied. Ought to keep his mouth shut until he gets back into the country. That's just standard fare. Then we'll all see how it goes for him. Well, damn. And Bruce Springsteen really did give this, like, long-winded, just, like, lecture on how everything's, like fascism's taking over America. I'm like,
As I drive home in my limousine.
Right. So that's the silly news in politics for the moment. Trump taking all these things on. The whole Russia-Ukraine meeting in Istanbul?
Yeah.
It was lower-level people, and, they got some prisoner swaps agreed to.
1,000 prisoners is about it.
And Trump, and I also saw Rubio saying this yesterday, nothing's going to change until Putin and I meet. So we'll see. And the Russians continue to say, no, we want all sorts of areas. And they keep calling it New Russia.
New Russia.
Novaya Russia or something like that.
We got to make that T-shirt.
Which includes Odessa and Kharkiv and a few other oblasts they haven't even gotten close to. Yeah. So they're not playing ball in that regard.
Give them a little bit.
You also have Kash Patel saying the FBI is leaving Hoover headquarters in D.C., the J. Edgar Hoover building. They are going to do it. Yeah. Now I wonder, is it another building in D.C., or are they going to...
Are they going to do the big breakup like they're supposed to?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Are we going to get more folks in Alabama? I don't know how I feel about that.
You don't like the law being here, Joey? You got a problem with the law?
No, because the law seems to be kind of whoever's discretion often.
Yes.
Doesn't seem to be like this is the clear law. It's more like, when was that? When did you make that clear?
Well, apparently, old laws sometimes they can question, like with Donald Trump wanting to throw people out here that don't belong using a 1899 law, and they're like, well, that law's too old.
Or 1798. Yeah.
Then let's do away with all old laws, because we have too many on the books.
But that's what they want you to do. They want to get rid of the Constitution.
No, not that one. We have to have a base.
So here's Kash Patel kind of laying it out, and I think he wasn't planning on saying this. It kind of surprised, I hadn't seen this guy in a while, Dan Bongino, the deputy director.
I figure he'd been busy.
Sitting right next to him.
Look, the FBI is 38,000 when we're fully manned, which we're not. In the National Capital Region, in the 50-mile radius around Washington, D.C., there were 11,000 FBI employees. That's like a third of the workforce. A third of the crime doesn't happen here. So we're taking 1,500 of those folks and moving them out. Every state's getting a plus up. And I think when we do things like that, we inspire folks in America to become intel analysts and agents and say, we want to go work at the FBI because we want to go fight violent crime and we want to get sent out into the country to do it. And that's what we're doing in the next 3, 6, 9 months. We're going to do that hard.
3, 6, 9.
And, I didn't know that I was going to do this, but I'm going to announce it on your show anyway. This FBI is leaving the Hoover building because this building is unsafe for our workforce, and we want the workforce.
You just gave up a big nugget
we want the American men and women to know, if you're going to come work at the premier law enforcement agency in the world, we're going to give you a building that's commensurate with that. And that's not this place.
All right, then. That's a big change.
Okay, Dan.
I wonder where they'll be going. And Trump was saying that on the campaign trail. He wants a big, beautiful FBI headquarters or something like that. And then, of course, as we mentioned earlier, everybody's talking about it. Trump was interviewed about the James Comey posting a photo of seashells down on the seashore being assembled to look like 8647. So, which is essentially being interpreted as kill Donald Trump or assassinate him. At least that's how Trump took it.
That's how most people took it.
Listen in.
What that meant. A child knows what that meant. If you're the FBI director and you don't know what that meant assassination. And it says it loud and clear. Now, he wasn't very competent, but he was competent enough to know what that meant. And he did it for a reason, and he was hit so hard. Because people like me, and they like what's happening with our country. Our country has become respected again, and all this. And he's calling for the assassination of the president.
Obviously, he apologized
apologized and said he
Well, he
wasn't calling
apologized
for
because he was
violence. But
look, he's a very
what
bad.
do you want to
look,
see happen?
he is a-
What do you want to see happen?
I don't want to take a position on it because that's going to be up to Pam and all of the great people. But I will say this: I think it's a terrible thing, and when you add his history to that, if he had a clean history, he doesn't. He's a dirty cop. He's a dirty cop, and if he had a clean history, I could understand if there was a leniency. But I'm going to let them make that decision.
Now, to follow up on that, here is Tulsi Gabbard
okay.
Commenting on Comey's comments.
Do you believe Comey should be in jail?
I do. Any other person with the position of influence that he has, people who take very seriously what a guy of his stature, his experience, and what the propaganda media has built him up to be, I'm very concerned for the president's life. We've already seen assassination attempts. I'm very concerned for his life. And James Comey, in my view, should be held accountable and put behind bars for this.
You don't like it?
That's just goofy.
Yeah.
That's just goofy.
Yeah.
86, which is a restaurant term, it doesn't mean I think we should assassinate the president of the United States. Like, it just simply doesn't mean that. And it certainly doesn't mean that to any extent that someone needs to be going in jail for a symbol. Like, honestly, you're assembling seashells in the shape of 4 letters, and you should go to jail for that. Okay, then. I don't know what to say to you at that point. Yeah, was it stupid? Is Comey an idiot? Yeah, but this overreaction just kind of makes you look silly, in my opinion.
272-9228, and I'm wondering, hey, maybe I can use Grok on this, actually. Hey, Grok, when was it made illegal, like you could get prison time for threatening the President of the United States?
All right, so we were talking about laws and penalties. Now, about threatening the President of the United States. It's been illegal for a long time, but the specific law criminalizing it with prison time was codified in 1917 under Title 18, Section 871 of the U.S. Code. The Espionage Act of 1917.
So Woodrow Wilson.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
So much goes back to Woodrow. Well, and also, McKinley was killed, and there had been a few assassinations. 272-9228, like I said, let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Papa B.
Hello.
Hey guys.
What's up, Papa B?
So, 8647. No, he knew exactly what it meant. That's the reason he took it down. He knew exactly what it meant. That's the reason he denied doing it. On the show before you guys, Scott's show and everything, one of the callers told us that he had arranged shells on the beach before for Kamala. He did it. Denying it makes it worse. He knew what he was doing. And by the way, wasn't Comey the FBI director when a pull rope on a garage door in Talladega was spotted, and he sent the whole bureau down on top of it?
No, because I think that was later in Trump's term. That was probably Christopher Wray.
Was it Chris Wray?
Yeah.
Sorry about that, but I think that James would have done the same. Not only that, but had I or anybody else said 86, whatever the, Obama's number is, or Biden's, I think I would be investigated at a minimum.
How many people were there during the whole administration? We got to get rid of Biden, get rid of Biden, get rid of Biden. Nobody should go to jail for saying that we need to get rid of a president.
No, get rid of is different than,
That's what 86 means, literally.
Well,
technically it means we're out of
of
brown bread, so don't sell it. It has nothing to do with assassination.
Like the brown bread they serve at steakhouses with the honey butter?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
86 the brown bread means we don't have it?
I don't know. I read a little bit more sinister intent behind Comey's. Besides that, if he didn't, if there was nothing wrong with it, why did he then deny it?
I don't know, maybe because people started calling for him to be arrested.
Probably so.
Well, I do wonder, like, what's the line for if it's not like James Comey or anybody high profile? It's just some dude. What's the line to get the Secret Service to like show up? Not necessarily arrest you, but just sit down and be like, "What's up, man?"
I mean, people have been questioned by the Secret Service for making like social media posts,
and some of this makes sense. Like when it's like truly unhinged and it's constant and constantly going on. Yeah, you might want to pay somebody a visit. Be like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Like the Kathy Griffin thing, that was way closer to the line than this.
If you or I had done that, I think we would have gotten a little visit. What do you think, Eddie?
Yeah,
you think you would have gotten a visit from that?
Yeah.
No?
No, I think you would have gotten a visit.
Wait, but so
I
you're
think
saying in the
you let it go too far.
Like ordinary Eddie would get a visit for that post? Like just you being Eddie, not the former head of the FBI. You think that you would actually get...
I think if enough people turned it in, they'd feel like they've got to go say something.
Possibly.
Sure. You're talking about, possible threat to the,
Only because I've seen them freak out over much worse. Much less.
They have been much less, right.
Yeah.
And it was silly when they did it.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, if we're going to have this standard, though, Papa B, it means they should have arrested Madonna for threatening to blow up the White House. And given that woman's already dead and she doesn't know it, I'm fine with it.
Awful.
Okay. Well, anyway, I believe that any of us would have had the same kind of, some things questioning us or whatever. But I don't buy the idea that the former director of the FBI didn't have any idea that it was not cool. I don't know. I don't buy that at all. Anyway, all right, guys. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey guys, Donkey Lori.
Hey, Lori.
Hey, I keep meaning to come by the studio. I'm going to have to do it next week. I got a life-size picture of a race car driver wearing bush lights.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes, I can't wait for it, Lori.
Is it like a cutout?
Yeah. Cardboard cutout, yeah.
Well, can we put it like right there?
I want to put it somewhere in the shot.
Later.
It's my buddy.
And I'm with Papa B. Craig, with the utmost respect, and you're way smarter than me, but I will tell you, I think it's highly irresponsible for someone who is not a leftist loony to say that wasn't calculated and that there should be punishment for it.
Well, of course it's calculated. The seashells didn't end up in that shape by themselves.
Let me have my phone call, okay?
Oh, okay. My sincerest apologies. Go ahead.
Okay. I've been listening, okay? And I'm just asking you to hear me out of respect.
You got it all day.
He's had 2 attempts on his life. He's had the DOJ weaponized against him. And for the former head of the FBI to come out with something like that. Now, you're a smart man, so you educate us all on the brown bread thing, okay? But most people make a reference to 86 as to what it got transformed into, which was to do away with. And more than that, but to get rid of, kill, annihilate, destroy, assassinate.
You just made a hopscotch list of synonyms that just don't exist. Like the saying "get rid of" is not synonymous with assassinate.
A person who is not as intelligent as you are.
Oh, I can promise you probably are. I think I'm legally retarded.
I would read that post, and I would take highly offense and it's cautionary. And for the irresponsibility of that person, that bad cop, which is what he is a bad cop, exactly what Trump called him, to put something out there public like that, I mean, there needs to be consequence for that. And I think part of the problem with the Republican Party or the conservative Christians is that we let the left go ape crap crazy over stuff that doesn't make a hill of beans. But we sit back and go, it's not that big of a deal. This is just silly. That's part of the problem.
Though, Lori, if you...
And the average American
Yeah.
citizen is tired of being pushed around and knowing that we would be under scrutiny investigation for the same thing that these jerk-offs get away with. And I think he should be arrested and he should be thrown in jail. And I don't think there's anything wrong with my opinion on it.
Well,
And
and
that
it certainly
but
is.
I
You're
don't
talking
agree
about
with
putting someone in jail for organizing seashells. Like, that's pretty silly.
What was the message?
To
What was the message?
8647, which again, you can say 86 means get rid of, and get rid of means assassinate and annihilate until you're blue in the face. That doesn't make it true. If you can say everyone did, and you can, and a lot of people did say, we need to get rid of Joe Biden. We need to get rid of Joe Biden. We need to get rid of Joe Biden. That's not an arrestable offense. To get rid of that is way more closer to the word kill and assassinate than 86 by a mile. So it has nothing to do with it being responsible or irresponsible. It's obviously irresponsible. The fact is he's a grown man who made a Facebook post with some seashells, and now you have Kristi Noem calling for him to be, or was that whoever that was? I can't remember.
It was
calling for
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard, that's it. To be arrested. That is objectively silly.
Well, and Lori, we got to think this through in this way. Hold on. We got to think this through in this way. Number one, I think there's a difference between something could be incredibly irresponsible and is an actual jailable offense is a good question. If we can sit here and argue over connotations and what we suspect of people, and I usually suspect the worst of Comey. But don't forget, and everybody shouldn't forget, not just us talking right now, that the left loves to play the suffering servant when they ain't. So, like, James Comey would be made a rock star if they put him in prison. He would be like the example of, we're fighting back against this fascist government. Why do you think those Congress people did that thing at ICE? They want the show. They can't get over the fact of, the images that came from the civil rights movement out of this state. They always want to recreate that look at the violence inherent in the system. The action is always in the reaction. So they're going to do these provocative things hoping for a hard crackdown, and that plays into exactly what they want. Now, if somebody literally breaks a pretty good law, yeah, you go after them and you go through the process. In a way, I think Comey is getting sort of the attention he wanted while he can now play the victim.
And you know what, Joey? I agree with you, but I maybe I'm more offended by the fact that, Craig, you called it silly, because I don't find anything silly about it. Because if they had their way, his brains would have been blown to pieces on live television. When CNN didn't cover live not one single rally of Trump, but the one rally in a hodunk town where he was almost had his head blown off.
Yeah, well, Laura, I'm not a clairvoyant, and neither are you. We can just go based on the seashells, and to be this upset over the seashells is silly. And I'll say it again: they're seashells. You're a grown man with $1 million security apparatus, $1 billion security apparatus surrounding you, and you're going to tell me that James Comey posting seashells actually poses a threat? That's just—it's not true. It's posturing because they want them to be the bad guys, and this is just a silly way of trying to show that. That's all I'm saying. It's not me. I'm a Comey fan.
What message does that give to the how many millions of total freaking lunatics that buy into that stuff? What about the crazy liberal leftists that buy into that and call it as, well, I've got my signal,
Well, I'm not a clairvoyant. The freaking son of Sam thought his dog was talking to him. Crazy people don't need James Comey to justify crazy actions. You're going on rabbit trails, and all I'm saying is it is not a threat to assassinate the president to post seashells that say 8647. That's all I'm saying, and pretend like it is goofy.
Maybe all I'm saying is that people like me and Papa B, it doesn't. It rubs me I wasn't going to call in today. It rubbed me completely wrong to how it seems so flippant you are about it. That, to me, is offensive.
Because organized seashells should be treated flippantly. Like they should. It's an objectively goofy
minimize
thing.
It all you want to.
It's not minimizing it. It is what it is. I mean, and just because you want it to be an assassination threat doesn't make it one.
Do that. Joey's got a show to do, and I very much like it when you're on the show.
I like it when you call in, Lori.
Individual, But I disagree with you on this, and we can just agree to disagree. But, I don't want anything to happen to Trump. I think we're on a good path right now. And I think if it were left to the other option of the path we could be on, we'd all be in grave danger. Even this radio show would be in grave danger of being able to be played on the air. The path that the elite deep state wants to send this country.
Well, I appreciate the call, Lori.
Thank you, Lori. Big kiss.
Okay, y'all have a great weekend.
Yeah.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. And there's only going to be more of this. I think Lori made a good point, and it's where I'm coming from on this. And, this is not new for me. The Thomas Matthew Crooks thing.
Yeah, it drives me nuts.
And the fact that we still don't know and nobody wants to cover it. And, it is crazy.
I'm almost unsympathetic at this point because it's like, hey, man, you're in there now.
Yeah.
Why are we hearing about the guy that shot you, dude?
Right.
Like, get your people on it, for God's sakes. I mean, forget about the Epstein stuff. That's a whole different ridiculous thing. But it's like, okay, yeah, you're now in the position of power to find out, to tell the American people, the people that voted for you, they wanted to know, they thought that the deep state came after you, this guy that we have no idea anything about. He tried to kill you. Your own people set you up. Now you're the big kahuna. Why aren't we hearing more about it? So, while it drives me absolutely insane, but but it should drive you insane that they are the people in power now, so what's their excuse?
Well, I assume they, especially with things like that, are they really the people with power?
I mean, I'm saying, from a purely optics point of view.
Oh, sure, yeah. President's in charge. The president's in power.
And you got Cash Patel in there in the FBI. You got Pam Bondi as the AG. So what's holding him back? What? And if there is something holding you back, then, and you're not telling us about that, then how are you not a part of the deep state?
Or at least being controlled by them.
Correct.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing. If there are, this is an absurd example, but you remember after 2020, Sidney Powell, who had done hundreds of cases in the federal courts, had been a lawyer in good standing for a long time. She comes out with this whole idea of the Kraken, where it goes to the highest bidder and they can manipulate all the results through the machines and through the computers. And when I heard her say that, I'm like, if that's true, why are you saying that? If those people have that sort of power, you going out public, they're going to paint you as a crazy person and they're going to ruin you. So sometimes there's such a level of power where it's like, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
And maybe you can have a counteraction against those groups. I, by the way, love how Trump doesn't say Attorney General Bondi. Pam's on top. Pam's going to look into this. But you're right. A lot of the Epstein stuff, the fact that we don't have more answers on the actual assassination attempt.
The fact that this is the first, besides the illegal criminal immigrants, the fact that this is really the first thing that we're hearing about Donald Trump calling for someone to be arrested or someone in his administration, this is the first that we're hearing about it. That adds to the silliness of it all. It's like, no, we want you to arrest people that were molesting children in a magical island by this guy who was friends with a lot of powerful people. Why can't we have that?
Well, did you see the other day on Sean Ryan's show, Tim Tebow crying about the stats of all the missing kids?
Oh, yeah, it's nuts.
And that's something that
Going
should make a grown man
Eddie's
cry.
point, maybe we need to start chipping them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and there's so many awful things going on, and yet this again is the point I made to Lori. This will continue. They're going to do things to just essentially I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Just daring you to punch them in the face.
That's what Al Green did when he got censured. He wanted that to happen so he could look like a victim.
A resistance hero.
Yeah, a resistance hero. That's why they chose Birmingham for the civil rights. That's why they chose Selma for civil rights. That's why they chose Montgomery buses, because they knew that's where they would get the most extreme reaction.
Yep.
So don't do them any favors, idiots.
272-9228. That's part of the program. You had to add the last
I did.
word.
I'm sorry.
You had to.
Again, I will be happy when I start seeing mass deportations, Epstein arrests, the Epstein files, something from JFK, and something from Thomas Matthew Crooks. Anything. Not even all of those things. One of them. Give me one of them, and then I'll be less critical and call them idiots less.
This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and there at Pest Pro, Ashley and that fantastic team are ready to help you with And all of your pest control services could be, you're looking for that basic protection. They get you on a, say, plan where they're visiting on a regular basis. Of course, they can do that yearly termite inspection and add protection as well. And also mosquito treatment, which again is a regular plan. It's not like call them up once, they come treat the yard, then you got to remember to call them again. No, they get you on a regular schedule. I think they show up about 8 times a year, right, Eddie?
Oh, yeah.
To make sure they're on top of the problem at the peak of mosquito season.
Never have no issues with it.
And it's been working for you beautifully.
Big time.
Well, I love hearing that. Y'all check out Pest Pro Services today. You can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search for Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. Give them a like there on Facebook, or just call them direct at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey, that fell on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit AlabamaSheriff'sYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values.
Alabama weather will never fail to surprise you. Our lawns hardly get a chance to have any downtime, and as usual, it's already time to start getting ready for summer. This year, save the hard work and aggravation and call Alabama Lawns, the River Region's leader in weed control and fertilization services. What makes Alabama Lawns the River Region's best? It's the people. They have the experience, education, and commitment to customer satisfaction. Ask your neighbors. Alabama Lawns has been the Montgomery Advertiser's Reader's Choice Award winner 13 years in a row. The Alabama Lawns staff is made up of long-term employees and agronomy graduates, and the staff at Alabama Lawns attend annual continuing education classes. It pays to have someone that knows southern grass types and how to keep them green and flourishing. Call Alabama Lawns today at 272-7171 and let them show you real value in a lawn maintenance service. Alabama Lawns, the company with black trucks and green lawns. 272-7171.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. For over 21 years, Blue Water Broadcasting has been a proud part of the River region. We're not just a company, we're your neighbors. Our owners, air staff, account executives, and support team all live right here. We believe in this community, and we stand by our slogan, Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Fox Monday.
Hold on to your bricks, people.
All the season's back again.
The biggest season of twists ever.
This is wild.
We're freaking out.
Will Arnett hosts the season premiere of Lego Masters, followed by a new America's Most Wanted.
Monday on Fox 20.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From little fender benders to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For 4 decades, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's sounding more and more like a summer forecast here in the middle of May. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low temperature down to about 70. Over the weekend, you'll start to feel the humidity more and more, with a high temperature near 90 on Saturday and Sunday, and there will be spotty, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms, few and far between both days. Lows at night right around 70, and still in the lower 90s on Monday and Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Before I forget, this part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, as you just heard, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage, and there, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you whether you're looking to refinance that home, which it could be the right time for you. Don't look at the national economic headlines to make these sorts of decisions. Examine your own economy. Let pros like Kim and Madeline there at Alabama Home Mortgage guide you through what's the right step. It could be to get debt off your back. It could be to reinvest in your property. Maybe you're just like, I'm in retirement. I'm on fixed income. I got to get these monthly costs down. They can help you with all of that there, especially if you're a veteran. They specialize in knowing the latest with the VA home loan programs, and there are a lot of veterans walking around who currently own homes who just don't know of benefits that you really do qualify for. It's at least worth a phone call to Alabama Home Mortgage, and of course they can walk you through that home buying process from pre-approval all the way to closing day. That number, 567-4223, that's 567-4223, or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Like Kim and Madeline proved that to you today. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. The second, can you call Mr. Cohen? Let's go to James. Hey, James, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing, Joey?
Good.
I'm glad you let me on. I'm going to try to keep my composure.
Please do.
About your guest here. He does seem, it's just the way he sounds. He sounds flippant, like, oh, no big deal. And I thought of the Democrats, they said don't blame the victim. But, what I hear, he's the president, he should know, we should find out the man been busting his butt since he been in office. He hadn't gotten back. I don't think he got back to the States yet. And he always blaming him because he hadn't found out who shot him yet. I mean, this is ridiculous. They're always trying to blame the victim. Just like they tried to blame the burning up the man's cars. He caused it on himself. That's how come we burning up his cars. He said something bad about us. Or he tried to save us money. So it's his fault that we burning up his cars and shooting in his dealership.
Mm.
You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't include my friend Craig here in the they.
And disconcerting when this state won, Trump won, hands down, and you get on the radio, oh, it's nothing. He just said something. Oh, it's not that bad. Well, he should find out who did it himself. He been in office. I can't believe you're saying this.
That the president of the United States should try to find out who shot him? I didn't think that was a shocking thing to say.
He's been in office. He should find out who shot him.
Yes, that's a very reasonable request.
He been kind of busy trying to clean up this mess. Biden let all these folks in the country that wants to kill us, and he's trying to get them out. I mean, he's been kind of busy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if he did that, don't you think he would be selfish?
Well,
that's something a lot of people want to know, Jay.
Yeah, that's a lot of people that elected him want to know that, and honestly, it wouldn't be him. Oh, I'm sorry. You go right ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
People trying to find out how they're gonna pay their bills too.
Mm-hmm.
So he putting the country in front of his own self.
It's in the interest of the country to know that if they're okay. I'm sorry, you're not just going to sit there and talk over me. The interest of the American people is we deserve to know if there are entrenched apparatuses within our federal government and these nameless, faceless agencies that try to assassinate the leading candidate for the president of the United States, a person that the majority of the country voted for. That is in the direct interest of the American people to have that information.
Appreciate the call, James.
Well, there you go.
I got to run.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
See you, dude.
Let's go to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are y'all?
Fantastic. Anyway, what's the score there today, Cohen?
It's 35-0.
Oh.
I tell you, we had a guy come in, longtime customer, came in, needed a TV for the lake. Thought he wanted to get a little 42 or something. Anyway, then he thought he wanted a 55. But before it's over with, he called me back and wanted a 65. And we were going to put it on the cabinet. I asked him if he wanted it mounted, and he said no. He said, I think we'll just put it on the cabinet. Of course, he called me back later and said his wife decided that they were going to mount it. And so anyway, Michael Jackson met him up at the lake at about 9 o'clock this morning to get him mounted and get the power moved, get everything set up so it's stupid simple for him to operate. And of course, then Michael Jackson's on his way to his next call. But so it's been a good day.
Yeah, and folks, if you're looking for that brand new TV, and why not? They have amazing products there at Cohen's, but it's that service that makes a difference. I've seen Michael Jackson at work myself. It gets the job done right. It gets it done quick and to your satisfaction. Of course, that's the theme there at Cohen's when it comes to TVs, electronics, or any appliances you might need. You can always go to thinkcohens.com if you want to peruse and shop from home. But I encourage you to stop by the Boulevard, 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday to Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And if you want to know what I mean, what Michael means when we ask about the score there at Cohen's, you're going to have to stop by and ask him yourself.
Fantastic. Y'all come see us, ask us some questions, bring us some pictures of your room or the area that you're trying to make your upgrades in, and come see us and let us help you make the right choice.
Appreciate it, Michael. Hope you have a good weekend, man.
All right, y'all too. Take care.
272-9228. Let's go to Joe. Hello, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah, the lady that called in about 2 calls back,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to make a comment, kind of a two-way point of clarification. Let's say if 2 years ago I took a 2x4 piece of bed sheet and painted 8646 in red numbers on it and put it on my flagpole in my front yard, what would have happened to me?
How many people pass by your property every day?
That's on the interstate.
Okay. No, somebody could easily take a photo of that. You might get a visit.
Well, what's the difference? This guy pretty well put it out there.
Well, we'll see. I think Trump's just making noises. I don't think he's actually going to arrest James Comey. I just don't think that's coming.
It's the same situation. I really just want to put that out there that we got double standards here, and they're going to take us down eventually. We got to stand up.
Cool. Well, I think you made the point well. Appreciate it, Joe.
Okay, thank you.
See you, Joe.
272-9228. Oh, let's talk to TS. Hey, TS, how are you? TS?
Sorry. I'm glad I...
Try again. You were breaking up there.
Hey, Clark.
TS, how about this? I got to hit my top of the hour break.
Try
Call
it again,
back
yeah.
because you're breaking up all over the place, and I want to give you plenty of running room. She's been calling us like every day lately. I like that she's back. I think I annoyed her or something.
No.
A while back.
You could never annoy anyone.
Impossible.
We'll be right back. Final hour coming up.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The House Budget Committee has voted against advancing the GOP's party line tax and spending package amid ongoing opposition from hardline conservatives. New Jersey transit train engineers on strike in a dispute over wages, leaving an estimated 350,000 commuters in New Jersey and New York City without a ride. It's the state's first transit strike in more than 40 years. 11 inmates escaping from an Orleans Parish jail in Louisiana. 10 inmates remain on the run. One has been captured. In financial news, Charter Communications merging with Cox Communications in an approximately $34.5 billion deal that brings together two of the biggest cable companies in the country. Stocks remain higher. The Dow is up 270 points. The NASDAQ Composite adding 62 points. This is SRN News.
Right now, with an important alert, home title fraud is one of the fastest growing white-collar crimes in the country. Criminals can make millions on your house without you even knowing it. Michael, you were one of those criminals?
Yeah, that's right. I was responsible for about $16 million in equity theft and title fraud.
Wow.
And to be honest, it was easy to do. It's just paperwork. So by the time you find out what's happening, the equity in your home is gone.
So how do you keep your property and equity safe? For more, here's Action News reporter Ron Stevens.
Well, Monica, an in-depth investigation found there's actually just one company that prevents this type of crime from happening: Equity Protect. Equity Protect scans, monitors, alerts, and most importantly, protects you from any attempts to tamper with or steal your home equity and ownership 24 hours a day. Other companies merely monitor. Equity Protect stops the crime from happening. Find out if you're already a victim or take a free risk assessment today at equityprotect.com. That's equityprotect.com.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. It's sounding more and more like a summer forecast here in the middle of May. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low temperature down to about 70. Over the weekend, you'll start to feel the humidity more and more, with a high temperature near 90 on Saturday and Sunday, and there will be spotty, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms, few and far between both days. Lows at night right around 70, and still in the lower 90s on Monday and Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
The man who was sentenced to death for the horrific murder of 5-year-old Kamari Holland back in 2021 is now seeking to expedite his own execution. Jeremy Williams was convicted in 2024 for the kidnapping, murder, and sexual abuse of the little girl. He filed an appeal to that conviction, but is now seeking to drop the appeal and move forward with execution. Williams has also had child sex abuse allegations issued against him prior to the death of Kamari Holland. Coming from the states of Alabama and Alaska, however, he was never tried or convicted in those cases. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
The U.S. Secret Service in Mobile are seeking to crack down on EBT fraud. The agency says this crime has drained over $350 million in taxpayer funds from accounts that were intended to help vulnerable families across the country. Secret Service resident agent Jennifer Neeson told WALA News that most of the fraud is occurring online, although in some cases skimming devices have been used. In just 2 days, the Secret Service conducted a California operation and arrested 10 suspects, seized 20 skimming devices, and saved $8.4 million in stolen aid. And the Christian rock band known as Skillet is going to be headlining for the Alabama National Fair. The musical group will perform on October 5th at Garrett Coliseum. Tickets to the concert are free with paid admission to the fair. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour of the program here. And let's go right to the phones and talk to TS. I think we have a better connection now. Hey, TS, how you doing?
Oh, my golly gee. I'm changing my handle to I don't like my AI phone.
Oh.
Why not?
It wasn't a picnic. That's my favorite tech acronym. Problem in chair, not in computer. A picnic, but today it was backwards. Craig?
Yes, madam. How are you?
I'm well.
Good.
People some people that listen to this show don't know you. That's just my personal opinion.
I should hope not.
They just don't know.
Well, they just don't know, Craig.
They ain't ready.
Okay. What?
They ain't ready.
Well, okay. Then they just need to back off and listen and not call in. I wasn't calling in today, but I just felt that I needed to offer some support to Craig because he's awesome.
That's my girl. Yeah, we're best friends now forever.
Yeah,
oh, my gosh. Pinky finger and everything?
Yeah. The TS, though,
Oh.
at the end of the day, we got a king here, and I'm a crown prince, and you don't tell my other callers what to do. You don't tell Craig what to do. You don't tell me what to do. I get to decide only the king gets to tell me what to do, all right?
The king as in the Lord of Lords?
No, for Joey, the king is Elon Musk.
I
was talking about my boss.
Who is that? Who is your boss?
Greg? Rick.
Oh, gosh. I'll call him next.
You'll enjoy it. You're going over my head, Dr. Rick.
Y'all be sweet. Love you more. Bye.
Love it to you.
Put me on with your manager. Who's your supervisor?
She thought I was talking about Jesus.
Good clarification.
Only God can judge me.
Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this? Hello.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Hey, Sammy.
I had to take you off the Bluetooth. Hey, this is Sam calling from Pike County.
How are things in Pike County, Sam?
Humidity is slowly creeping up.
Yeah.
Heat is slowly creeping up. Yeah. Summertime has arrived. I've got a great garden going. I got a few marigolds mixed in with my tomatoes, and cooking today's chicken day. I got a litter of kittens, me, the cats, and the chickens. Eating chicken.
Okay.
Does that make any sense? Yeah. All right, listen. It is so funny though. Craig, he stayed up as crazy all week, coming to the show today and letting it loose, getting on people's nerves, and it makes for good radio.
If you think I don't do that during the week, you are sadly mistaken, my friend.
And if you think this is crazy, oh my God, you have no idea.
Right.
That's right. I heard Craig mention earlier about the blacksmith, and that's a fine. Are you talking about an anvil? Are you shoeing animals, or just metal work in general?
Well, I mean, it's mostly bladesmithing. I've made a few tools and stuff.
I heard you.
But yeah, it's mainly just for knives and stuff that I'm getting into. I'm still very, very green.
Yeah. No, I heard you mention that about the knives the other day. Shame on me, but I just pictured you out there practicing on a cow. You know, they call it a shoe move. Before you shoe a horse, you got to do a cow.
Actually, in my neck of the woods, there's a work truck that drives around. That's a horseshoeing truck, and I was just like, I want to. Yeah, it's like I want to look into that. Maybe I can actually get into some horseshoeing.
I think you would like that.
No, Craig, gentlemen, 30, 40 years ago, there was a shortage. I remember hearing about it, and you'd see it occasionally on the news. The gentlemen that were still practicing, and but I bet there's still a pretty good demand for that.
Well, and especially if you're not just doing the shoes, like you're doing the treatment, like the hooves stuff. Those videos, for some reason,
watch those videos all day long.
So peaceful. Like,
when they're sitting there trimming the hoof back or something, like I get like a tingle.
They'll find
in
the
the back
stone
of my head.
buried in. They go get the stone out, and
when they do cows and they find an
they
abscess,
they got to put the filler in and the purple stuff.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one that got entranced by those
all over
videos.
That stuff's great.
That's it. See, all that. That's a powerful image. All of us affected. I mean, all of us had some feedback just then. But yeah, the image. It's not just the shoe itself, but the horse standing still, the trust that's going on as the whole, and it's. Oh man! Reason called. Why did I call?
Why'd you call, Sam?
Colt 8647.
Oh yes,
that's right. A Colt 40. Yeah, that's what I want to drink.
Colt 45 and 2. Sorry.
2005, me and a crew, I did some work with the Army over Savannah, and it was in August, and right next to Savannah is a wonderful spot called Tybee Island. And, you know, I'm a Gulf Coast man, first and foremost, white sand in my veins, but Tybee's pretty nice. And, but the sand dollars, they have a huge sand dollar flush. They were all over the beach. We got a 5-gallon bucket. Let's say I did it. I'll take responsibility. I spelled out the name of the unit that we had in big bold letters, and it was right there next to the sign, "Keep our beaches clean." And that was the overreaction I was getting to. Comey, he should be worried about the beach police. Beach police got on my backside. Yeah, I had to clean all that up. Where I got a picture of it.
But
where
you
I
also
spelled out
arranged it to say 69,420.
No, mine said engineers and some other stuff, but it was in good taste. But it was huge, man. Oh, that
apparently was not in good taste.
Yeah.
But that's the deal on Tybee Beach. It was beautiful. Yeah, they had beach. Panama City Beach. They've tightened it up.
Yeah, they are.
You know, they came up here to Troy and got them shoplifters. If they get after Comey, it'd be So I'm just saying, beach police he needs to be worried about. That's it.
All right, Sammy.
Go 47. Okay, I'm going back in here. I'll see y'all later.
See you, buddy.
Good
See
luck,
ya.
Sam. So I know the lieutenant governor is happy.
Oh?
Because he's now got a senator on his side of his idea.
He likes them wide.
His roads, that is.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Just to clarify.
Okay.
Everyone knew what we were talking about. Everyone knows what that means.
Widen 65.
Yeah.
And I think Tuberville's on board with that.
YD65. What does that mean?
Oh, you got
How you doing, 65?
You're going to start pissing off the numerologist out there in a second. We're going to be really
I thought you
in
were
trouble.
going there with the head chips. I'm like, please don't get me started. Please, for the love of God, don't get me started. Don't say the mark of the. Don't say it.
The nanobots are already in our Diet Coke, all right?
Turn the freaking frogs gay.
No, here's always lovely Katie Britt. And I'm skipping ahead because it was like 4, 5, 6 minutes of questioning to the part about widening 65. She's talking to Secretary, I guess, Duffy?
Duffy.
Yeah, let's listen in to Senator Britt here.
Big, beautiful transportation projects that you mentioned. President Trump has made it a priority. He has said publicly that he wants to see I-65 widened. He wants to see it to be a 4-lane road there on each side. He said he was committed to making that happen. Look, we know how important that is for our state. Anyone who wants to travel in Alabama gets stuck on I-65. However, all of these great people who during the spring and summer want to come to Alabama's beautiful white sand Gulf Coast or maybe even the Florida Panhandle come right down 65. And so would just like your commitment to continuing to take a look at that. There's no way that project happens without a partnership with the federal government, and want your commitment to making sure that we take a look at what President Trump has promised and we figure out how to make that happen.
I would just say the president's priorities are also my priorities. So yes, I'll definitely take a look at that.
Excellent, excellent. We are glad to hear it. I want to.
Great.
I'm in a bit of a quandary here. I want a wider 65, but I don't want to deal with the 10 years of
widening 65.
That it's going to be to widen 65, especially whenever they just do such a poor job.
Well, not only that, you know, they're not going to start at one end or the other. They're going to start in the middle.
Yeah.
Do a little few miles that way. Then they're going to go up the road 40 miles. Do a little bit more up there. Yeah. It's never systematic.
Where you should just look for the main bottlenecks.
Honestly, there's enough room down the median. You can just dump some pavement.
Yeah.
A little bit of plumbing. We're good to go.
And it does seem like the bottleneck is like when you hit, Montevallo, Calera?
Yeah.
There, and then when you're heading south, you get around Greenville. There's accidents and,
Well, and accidents are one thing, but if you have, say, more people are living in that area, more people are getting off the
more
exits.
people on the roads.
That's where you focus the effort.
Around Coleman, it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. But look at, I don't even know what they're doing. I can't remember the name of the city, but it said, like, you're going south, like you're heading to Mobile, and there's that Love's gas station. I think it's like near exit 69 or something like that.
59, Bay Minette, maybe?
Yeah,
is it Bay Minette?
But you know how they've been doing construction there
forever.
Yeah.
What are they doing that one stretch for 7 years?
It's like half a car length wider than it was 8 years ago.
And it's like the length of a couple football fields. What the hell are you doing?
That underground structure they're building, I guess.
Well, and I mean, maybe if this speeds up, we can finally finish the outer loop.
Dude, have you driven on the roads inside Montgomery? How about some inner loop action?
I mean, but have you seen that big old bridge out there around Pike Road and Waugh?
I took a motorcycle on it one time when they first opened it up.
Yeah?
It was cooler than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
But I found myself looking a little bit more to the side and not so much straight ahead, so I had to make a Kind of a quick little turn there.
I like singing. I like singing on opera music when I drive in Montgomery because the quality of the roads just gives me the most perfect vibrato.
I'm telling you, man. At what point, flat tires, busted rims, your front ends are beat to crap. That's just living in Montgomery.
Dude, I had to replace 3 rims when I worked in Montgomery because they just all bent.
Yeah, they just get bent.
You just hit these unexpected little potholes.
Yeah. That's why you got to go so slow to Montgomery. It's not because of traffic. It's because the roads are so bad. It beats the crap out of your car.
Yeah. And I just drive like a little old Ford Focus. Just gets the crap beat out of it in Montgomery.
That's why I drive my big truck.
Well, you should.
My squeak box.
Yeah, there's certain areas where I'm trying to think it through that are bad. Like Perry Hill ain't bad. Not too bad.
Nah, it's not terrible.
Interstate's usually fine.
Atlanta Highway.
Yeah, the Atlanta Highway. That's
like,
it.
The worst roads in the state is actually in this one little apartment complex in a road called Bonaparte Avenue.
Bonaparte.
And it looks like mortar shells. Like, those aren't potholes. Those are like war crimes.
Yeah.
Well, in that whole area, like in Cloverdale, Fairview, I know they fixed some of that already.
But
thank
that
God.
one sinkhole, man, I think it took them like 6 months to fix.
Yeah.
You just every time I go down there showing houses, we're diverting all the way around because of one 12 by 12 sinkhole.
And that's another thing with the widening and doing it in sections like they're definitely going to do. They never grade it properly. So anytime like old road meets new road,
Yeah, you can feel it, buddy.
You essentially hit a ramp.
Yep.
And you hear dunk dunk. It's like, well, that can't be good for my suspension.
In the state of Alabama, have you ever hit a bridge and not know you just hit a bridge?
Exactly.
I mean, there is no smooth transition whatsoever.
Yeah, and it shouldn't. I'm not a concrete artist, but I feel like that should be fairly easy to do.
I would think so.
Or you could just call Elon. They had breakthroughs with the boring company. Like, seriously, the thing moves now as fast as a snail, which is apparently a big deal or something. They're trying to get it as fast as a human walking. And it doesn't need a setup. It can enter the ground and exit the ground without any big crater setup.
See, that was a 70s movie, Journey to the Center of the Earth. That's what they used.
Yeah, so like instead of like expanding it, just build a tunnel that's a fast track down the interstate path.
But I watch those like small tunnels, and I just get claustrophobic watching it.
Yeah, the one that's operating right now in Vegas, it's cool, but it's also
We wanted to do it, but
like
there
the worst
was
thing.
there was such a line to just do that, mile and a half or whatever it is, we bailed on it.
Oh, you didn't even try it?
It's just a line, one big line. And there's no drivers. You get in the car, it's like a roller coaster ride. You get in the car, and it drops you off on the other side.
Yeah.
But it's just a line
Well,
of
if
people.
you got to get to one side or the other,
Well,
on the
and
city.
honestly,
yeah.
Vegas traffic is crap. It's horrible.
Oh, really?
I could not imagine living there, no.
Yeah, and also like it came to mind the visit I did to Boston. My God, with the cold
With the
weather and the
winters and
snow and
everything,
everything. Going over, we were riding up to Salem on the interstate. I'm like, what in the world? Like, we do have it somewhat good around here compared to some other places with all the elements. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
It's Joey from Bravo.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. How y'all doing?
Good.
Bye.
Let's go back to the gay frogs.
Okay.
I need a repeat on how that transponded. I turned the radio on. I was in the middle of a bad area, and I switched over to somebody else, and I jumped back. And I want to say it was Craig.
Mm-hmm.
It was right before the Katie Britt, when you played the Katie Britt bit. And he screams out in the background about turning freaking frogs gay.
Yeah, you don't know about that?
I know about it. You might want to go back and listen to it again.
Yeah, we got talking about numbers, and I said, don't tempt the numerologist, and then I think he yelled out, they're turning
And
the
then it
freaking
turned
frogs.
into like Mark of the Beast, conspiracy theories,
Right, nano
frogs
chips
gay,
and-
nano chips, frogs
Mhm.
gay. It was a natural progression.
Right.
It was.
If you actually fold a $20 bill in a certain way, it looks like the Twin Towers coming down.
Black helicopters.
It does.
Tower 7.
Right
have a
there
little bit
on
of whiskey.
but on the freaking frogs gay, the word before freaking, I really think you might get an FAA call.
I mean, we can go back and listen to it. I didn't catch it in the moment.
I don't recall saying it in the moment.
I could have swore I heard it because my ears perked up. I was like, ooh, we got good today.
I'm gonna go back and listen. I'm interested now.
I go back and listen. Oh my Lord!
Well, hopefully the Federal Aviation Administration doesn't after us.
You ain't kidding.
Whoever the hell that is.
I appreciate the call, Joey.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you, sir. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Yeah, and just in passing before we got to hit a break, you glad the session's over?
So glad. Yeah, I mean, I'm still recovering because I didn't get to sleep until like 2:30 or 3 o'clock in the morning yesterday because they were there till midnight. Then I have to walk to my car. Then I have to get home. Then I have to finish writing. Then I have to eat food. I brought a wrong meal with me. I brought one of my children's leftover bowls instead of my bowl of pre-packed food. I was sans one meal. So I hadn't eaten since 3. And then we get to midnight. I'm hungry. I'm tired, and I still got to go home and eat and write and take a shower and all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm happy it's over, but I'm still recovering from the. Yeah, it's a lot, but
yeah, and it didn't. It seems like it wasn't the worst session, but it wasn't an F, but it certainly wasn't an A or a B.
Nothing really to write home about.
I kind of gave him an F.
You gave him an F?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why are you giving him an F?
Overtime rule.
Oh yeah.
And the fact that they can just come take over a perfectly legitimate business that others have invested in.
There's
that the
that
state
too.
wants now. I
There's
give it
that
an
too,
absolute
though.
F.
The whole hemp takeover.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you want, big government, right? That's what we all want here in
it's
Alabama.
bonkers to me, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you can go on 1819 News, you go to the opinion section, you have Andy Witt, and then you have a response from Stephanie Holton Smith, and it's like, ooh, drama.
Ooh.
But Governor Ivey signed it.
Yeah. Of course she did, old bat.
I mean, there's going to be a lawsuit coming to challenge it.
There will be, because the ABC board has no legal right to THC whatsoever. Whatso-frickin-ever. And then I hope that people get together and go after the ABC board, because they've got no right to exist in the state either. All they're doing is keeping money out of regular people's pockets. Why can't I open a liquor store? And they don't do bargaining worth of crap either. How come I can buy liquor just about cheaper than any other state retail that I can buy it here? Yeah, because it's a bunch of crap.
It is a bunch of crap.
I feel like they feel like they did the liquor store owners a kudos because they close at like 5 or 6 or whatever it is, and like you can get all the late night drunks, which is significant. But yeah, it's absolutely filthy what the ABC board does. It's
Where
crazy.
else is there a liquor store I pay somebody $25 an hour to work at and they get full state benefits?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta think Alabama has got to break some sort of record when it comes to state government employees.
Well, and it's a classic thing. I actually learned this in college. It didn't really require college, though. That concentrated interests usually get what they want as opposed to dispersed interests. So it could be the vast majority of the people agree with you, Eddie, and I agree with you. But because of these concentrated interests, they get what they want. Because they know how to play the game. They know, as Jeff Poor was explaining, they know how to put checks in the right cubby holes and get people's attention.
Lack of ass whoopings is what I think it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yep.
You going to 8-6 something?
No. It should have happened when they were growing up. Too late for ass whoopings now. They're too old. They ain't going to learn nothing. Just sue somebody.
It is a little annoying.
Beyond annoying, man. And we're supposed to be Republicans. They're not even Republicans in name alone.
Yeah. So you're giving them an F.
F, absolute F.
Straight
and
up.
And I wish they would call me because sometimes I've had these politicians call me at night at my house. Call me. Let's talk.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to talk about it.
But think of the children, Eddie.
That's what you're going to hear.
Children I didn't make? Children you didn't make?
Yeah.
What children?
Man, I ain't got no kids.
Right.
That you know of.
Right. And if
I
it's
ain't
for
got
the
no
children,
kids.
let's talk about the negative things you brought to children that you always say is for the children. Give me something you've done positive. Right.
And it's funny because it's the same excuse every time. Even with the overtime tax, when Ledbetter was asked about what you got to realize is the money that we're taking that money from the children. It's like, no, you're not taking it from the children. It's not theirs.
They're not working the overtime.
Yeah.
Sorry, kids ain't working the overtime.
RFK said when someone brought that up, like he's trying to cut tax for billionaires. He's like, I don't know many billionaires that work overtime.
Right.
Yeah. It might. The legislative process is just a mess in this country, in our state, in the Congress. It's just a mess.
Lack of
and it is. It's a bunch of concentrated interests that scratch each other's backs. I was about to say something else.
Well, those
It's a
concentrated
big
interests,
circle over there.
most of them are unions in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
However, you cannot have a blue-collar union. You're ashamed if you do. However, White collar unions are
Oh, yeah.
perfectly normal.
They're not
Business council.
Eddie, they're not unions. They're association.
They pay dues?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's all sorts of clubs.
Point the difference between them.
Yeah. But that is the name of the game. And either people are going to have to learn to get a big old pot of money together and play the game better, or...
They just steal it. If we as citizens said, you know what, we want to hire our own lobbyists. Oh, wait, we elect our own lobbyists. But they're screwing us, too.
Well, and you could also have the thing where, like, everybody, like, en masse breaks the law.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Bring out some Judas Priest. Breaking the law.
That is what happened with marijuana. That's why marijuana is as legal as it is because people just ignored it. Like, oh, it's illegal? Okay.
Great.
I don't care. I'm going to keep doing it.
Which is funny because when you get paranoid people and they're like, I don't want nobody to know I'm smoking pot, and somebody will scream, hey, this guy's smoking pot. Look, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
No, but you don't just yell it. You just go up to them and go, they know.
No, that's not what you want to do. That's going to freak somebody out.
They know. Who knows? Oh, you know.
They know.
You know who they are. Yeah, that's when somebody starts talking about the archons. And have you read this? No, that's not what I mean.
But that is
Stop
true.
telling me you're such a fan of Philip K. Dick. We get it. You like weird sci-fi. Anyway, you're going to say something?
I was. No, I can't remember.
Yeah, Philip K. Dick threw you off.
Yeah, you did.
Mm-hmm. Let's hit this break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home, from troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
Let's face it, what our customers say about our business is the most important advertising tool. Here at Adams Drugs, we love our customers. We're here with Al and Amy Steinecker, Adams Drugs customers. Amy, please tell us how easy it was to transfer your prescriptions to Adams Drugs from the big box store.
It was one of the easiest things I've ever done. I went into the pharmacy on Bond Road and spoke with the pharmacist and told him we had not been happy where we'd been and would love to transfer our prescriptions. And he said, I'll be happy to call them. And that was that. And now when I call, I just say I need to have a prescription filled. And it's just that simple.
Al, what has your customer service been like at Adams Drugs?
It's amazing. You walk in, you're not standing in a line. They speak to you, call you by name, and say, what do you need today, Al, or Mr. Steinecker? It's wonderful. It doesn't get any better.
Please come into any Adams Drugs location and let us earn your business. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Attention business owners! Did you know that about 90% of employees and customers are unhappy when they walk into a dirty building? Let Janny King, the king of clean, keep your business pristine. Janny King's local franchise owners can handle your cleaning needs with reliable, hands-on cleaning solutions that deliver more than just a clean space. Janny King comes with regional support, which ensures consistency and quality, allowing you to focus on all the other needs of your business. Go to JannyKingCleans.com.
Janny King, the king of clean.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED, because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, HIMS can help. Through HIMS.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
Hi, I'm Dawn Sexton with Physical Therapy and Balance Center in Prattville. I've been advertising now with Blue Water Broadcasting for a while, and it has greatly increased our referrals. We're glad we can help people get increased mobility to love their life again. I highly recommend advertising with Blue Water Broadcasting. Thanks.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Weather service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi everybody. It's sounding more and more like a summer forecast here in the middle of May. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low temperature down to about 70. Over the weekend, you'll start to feel the humidity more and more, with a high temperature near 90 on Saturday and Sunday, and there will be spotty, random, mostly afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms, few and far between both days. Lows at night right around 70, and still in the lower 90s on Monday and Tuesday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA, NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
ASE, an equal housing lender.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. You know, about 2.5 hours into this thing, I start to get hungry.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm thinking about Smokehouse Pit Barbecue.
Oh, yes.
That place, you could eat and eat and eat, especially like you want to just do a whole spread. You know that like time we went to the steakhouse up in Birmingham?
Yeah, we just laid
We
it
should
out.
just do that at Smokehouse.
Oh, I'd be down with that.
And it could be a breakfast thing where we get like a sample of all sorts of stuff. Of course, those like divine cheese grits.
Well, you get those Fat Boy sampler right now for breakfast.
Ooh. The
Got quite
big
a
old
choice of meats,
pancake
yeah.
and like some bacon, some sausage, some Kaneka on the side. Or heck, you could get like a fried bologna biscuit with a little American cheese on
Pretty
it.
good in the morning, man.
Ain't wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. And then like a pulled pork biscuit.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then, of course, they do lunch, they do dinner, dine in, take out. And the beautiful thing with Smokehouse Pit Barbecue is they are back to the original recipes that made them famous. You know, in this ever-changing world, don't you want to stick with the things that you know that should last forever? And I'm thinking the original recipes there from Smokehouse Pit Barbecue fit that bill perfectly. You can always look at their menu from home. It'll really get you your mouth watering. Just smokehousepitbbq.com, or you can look them up on Facebook. But just stop by there. Same location they've always been there in Millbrook, Main Street in Millbrook. And be sure to tell them, those great folks there, that Joey and Eddie and Craig, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Let's go to Poison Ivy. Hello, how are you?
I am doing good.
Well, the governor, she took a few days to sign some stuff that y'all was noticing.
Yes.
And the reason was, well, she read that bill and recognized that, well, the legislature needed to know the difference between THC and alcohol. So we loaded up some stuff from the ABC store, some mint juleps and stuff, and we went under that tunnel. And while Smitherman started in, we just brought the legislature. We got some of them past Craig there because he was kind of malnourished. And we showed them the difference between THC and alcohol. Now, what I need your help with, Joey, is the next acronym here. We need someone, she taught them what alcohol was, but we need to have someone teach them, if you can figure out who, the following. Governors Unifying Munchie-Making Illicit Edible Snacks. Gummies. Somebody to teach them about gummies. We'll have a special session on that.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm happy to get the governor high.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all have a great day, and thanks for letting me tell you what she did.
Thank you.
Probably good for her arthritis.
Yeah.
Or whatever she's got going on.
Yeah, that'd be great for her. Probably put her at ease a little bit.
No, and by the way, we're going to have Anthony Daniels calling in on Tuesday talking about the failure of this overtime tax thing.
Nice.
On Monday, we should have Dick Brubaker stopping by the studio talk about the miserable state of public education here in Montgomery County.
Yep.
And what possible solutions could be had with that. And I was a little disappointed the mayor didn't at least entertain this idea of maybe Montgomery, if you can't do the full city school thing, should lean more into school choice. You already have many private schools. You could incentivize others to start up. It doesn't
I think
we need to get creative here and fast.
Yeah, there's several that want to start up, but
that's the problem.
I've seen some of the struggles that they have to go through, the hoops they have to jump through, and there's a world been built against them to keep kids in public school. Which I'm a product of public school, and I sent my son to private school, and the difference was amazing.
Now I'm still thinking about top level officials if you got to see them high. You think it would be any real big difference with some of those folks? Yep. Oh yeah, you do?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Everything from the someone that probably not going to go well. They're going to have a bad trip, as you'd say. Then
they know.
Humorous stories, right?
Everybody knows. Yeah.
And then they'd have the ones that would just loosen up. And it's funny. There's YouTube rabbit holes you can go down where some older people start trying gummies now, and they've never done anything in their life, but they've tried the gummies, and they're having the time of their life.
Of course.
It's hysterical. I mean, and when everything is said and done, they're laughing because they said, I thought this was going to kill me. My whole life I was told this was the worst thing for me, and all I can do now is just not stop laughing.
Yeah. The movie's funny.
Yeah.
The music's good. Plus, you're just enjoying sitting on the back porch overlooking the lake or something. Yeah.
If I'm that age, I'm not there to produce anymore. Let me just have a good time.
Right. It really isn't. That one moment where Witt did say this is like fentanyl,
Or he said taking one gummy is equivalent of drinking a bottle of 80 proof vodka.
But the difference, that bottle of 80 proof vodka would kill me. I could take that bag of gummies. It ain't going to kill me.
No, man.
Worst, I might call Joey and say, I'm a little sad now. Other than that, that's it.
Well, it's because you keep watching that Tom Segura show on Netflix.
Man, that thing's awful.
Yeah?
Yes. I don't suggest.
Did he go too far with it?
Yeah. Yeah, he did.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
and he was worried about the new Ye song.
Yeah.
You heard that song?
Of course I have.
What's your thoughts on that?
I think, he's trying to do the shocking artist thing.
Yeah.
And, I think people are kind of bored with it.
That's my thought. With him, this is no new shocker than...
It's like, dude, you're a 50-year-old man. I'm not sure being, edgy and shocking is a cool thing to be at 50.
No.
Yeah, but they took my kids from me.
I
shut down my bank account.
But do you write a song about it?
Well, yeah, you write a song about that. You don't write a song about...
The,
is there a word of that song that I can say on the radio?
Not of the hook.
Nope, but it's catchy.
It is. He is a good producer in that sense. It is.
All my. That's the only thing I can say.
Yeah.
All my.
They don't understand the things I say on Twitter.
I thought that line was funny. I thought that line was funny. It's like, no, we understand it, and we're frightened for you.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
That's the problem when you have too much money that you don't have real friends to tell you when you need to chill out a little bit.
Yeah.
Because so many of those people, especially people that he's a brilliant artist, but they go and they go and they go, and people like that are forward thinkers, they need people in their corner that they trust that can be like, hey man, you need to chill.
Well, and he just did a thing with Piers Morgan, and where he right before the song came out, and it's only ends up being like a 10-minute thing because Kanye just storms off. You got my name wrong. It's not Kanye West anymore. It's Ye, and everybody knows that. And you said I only had 32 million when I got 33 million followers, trying to undercut me. So we ain't doing this. And he just storms off. And Piers is pissed because they had tried to do an interview the day before, wasted a lot of time and money. And whoever's Kanye's butt boy now, whatever that guy's name is.
Fuentes?
No, not Fuentes. It's some other dude. Who's like his right-hand man. And he talked with Pierce for a second. Saying, isn't it funny, though, that he just kind of blew you off?
No.
Yeah, it's a yes man problem, definitely.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Though it was, for me, kind of like peak oddness of this moment on social media. There's a scene, I think, from one of the newer Sonic movies where Jim Carrey's Dr. Robotnik is dancing through like a laser field or whatever. And somebody months ago, or if not years ago, you could put any song to this and it will still be amazing. And so people have just been superimposing different music over that same scene. And some guy goes, testing out the limits of this theory, and put the new Ye song on there. Oh. It has, I think, just about, if not more likes than the original Ye song.
Wow.
And it kind of is like, oh my God. Because there are points where Jim Carrey is putting his arm out straight and stuff in it, and it's like, okay.
My biggest thought when I watched especially the music video, is I'm thinking, man, those actors must have been like, their power was about to get cut off. Like, they must
do
have
anything.
Been needing some money, because if you're a struggling actor and that's like you get the call, it's like, hey man, I didn't write the song, I'm just a performer.
And by the way, you know how difficult it's been, because it is catchy, to do a whole week
without
of radio with that catchy little thing stuck in your head, and you're like, just leave it alone.
Yep,
just let it be. It's just a thing. It's just a thing.
That's why I didn't listen to it too much, because I didn't want to get it in my head.
Oh no, somebody sent me just a guy playing on piano, just the melody and stuff. Like, what is happening right now? God.
It's like he keeps, every couple of years he reinvents himself. At first it was the Christian thing, and now it's the I'm a Nazi thing, and now it's not I'm a Nazi, but I'm going to try to irritate everyone who's been calling me a Nazi by really sinking into the whole Nazi label. And that's going to get boring for him and everyone else very quickly, and then he'll have another reinvention. Maybe he might actually make just, decent music again.
Hopefully. We'll see. Let's go to line one. You're on the air. Who's this?
Hey, this is Common Sense.
Hey, Common Sense. How you doing?
I'd like to add something to what y'all were talking about. I had an incident the other night at the emergency room at Jackson Hospital. I was sitting in the waiting room, and the kid came in. He couldn't have been more than 8 or 9 years old. And his mother was with him. And he was just shaking, trembling, crying, falling in the floor. Well, his mother came in and went to sign in, and she had a yellow bag, a little plastic bag in her hand, which looked to me to be gummies.
Mm-hmm.
And she checked in, and after she checked in, she came over and sat with me, and the little boy was still crying and acting up. So they tried to give him some water, and the people there in the emergency room wouldn't let him have any water, of course. But another lady took the bag and read it, and the bag was gummies with marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know the kid didn't buy it from the store. I know an adult had to buy it, and he probably left it where the kid could get into it. But the bag was empty, so we don't know how many he took. Of course, I left before the kid got released, so I don't know what happened to him. But the common sense part comes in when, grown people, supposed to be grown people, you can abuse that stuff by leaving it on your front porch or leaving it on your coffee table.
Oh, sure.
And that's what happened to this kid, and that's the big problem. I mean, if you're an adult, which I've seen some 50, 60-year-olds that's not an adult, I wouldn't say, but if you're an adult, you can put C4 in your mouth and light a cigarette, and that's all right with me. But when it starts affecting young kids, now that kid could be scarred for life. We just don't know. But I just thought I'd interject that. That's it needs to be policed a little better, I think.
Yeah,
I'm
I think they
I'm
could have
sure-
done that without the current bill they just did.
Yeah, I'm sure DHR knows about it. The hospital probably notified somebody. But it's still sad.
It is sad. No, I don't disagree. That is common sense. And heck, even a lot of the folks that are upset with the new bill because it might be put out of business were in full agreement. This should not be given to minors.
Yeah.
So
No. Well, it probably, like I said, probably wasn't sold to the kid. His parents or some grown-up probably left it where he could get it. Might even have given it to him.
yeah, that's
you
what
just
so much
never
stuff.
know.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the call. Good call. Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you.
272-9228. Anyway, you want to go back to the Yay song? Goodness gracious. That's awful, though.
Is it, though? It's, again...
I don't think the kid's going to be scarred for life necessarily, but that's like... Yeah, it's kind of like there are people their children having children, and they don't... That natural instinct to protect and provide, for some reason, is a little broken.
Yeah, but again, this is one of those situations where it's like, okay, where's your community? Where's your church? Where are the social institutions
Yes.
that are supposed to address these issues that aren't government?
Yep, I agree with you.
I mean, yeah,
completely.
I know you do, but it's like it is inevitably it happens where you see social failures from people that have no interest, desire, or compulsion to be valuable members of their society, to be responsible members of their society, and then the inevitable response is, well, we need government to step in because they're so responsible and they're so effective. It's like, yeah, I agree, it's a problem, but the solution, just like you can do this with anything. It's like there's a problem with this or a problem with that. Any number of things, infinite number of things. The solution is almost never let government handle it.
You know you're screwed when the government gets involved.
No, and it creates a much more anti-fragile system. It creates and a more dynamic system where everybody doesn't have to be the same. Not every little community has to have the same exact standard.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that kid's not going to have any more gummies.
Yeah.
Might have been the best thing for him.
Well,
silver lining, yo.
That's kind of an old school idea. Oh, you want to have these cigarettes? You go smoke that whole pack of cigarettes, young man.
That didn't work for me.
Right. Yeah, it's like, you want to try this alcohol? Go
I mean,
ahead. Ooh, that's
damn near killed me
gross.
trying to smoke them cigarettes in front of them, but a couple days later, smoking cigarettes again, just learn how
Yeah,
not
I was
to
the
get
same
caught.
way that my parents made me. I threw up after I think like when I was like 14 is when it was. I think I got through like 7 or 8, and then I threw up, and I was like, I'll never smoke again. The next day, I was dying for one.
Well, again, there can be like creative social shame ways. Like we were talking off air about the fat kids.
Yeah.
And what was your idea?
I said that kids need to have weekly BMI measurements in school, and if they fail, if they are clinically obese, then they should be forced to come to school in a little pig nose with one of those little pig noses on.
Yeah, and then I think there should be like a whole like auditorium meeting of the whole student body, and you have to do the weigh-ins like the movie Heavyweights.
Exactly.
And like the fattest kid at the school, you remember the movie Matilda, has to eat
the whole cake,
the whole chocolate cake.
or
yes.
either that, or they just pelt him with food, and they
Yeah.
just yell shame.
Yeah, sounds wholesome
while
to me.
making pig noises, suey, suey, and then just throw chocolate cake at him in shame.
Yeah, this couldn't go sideways.
Not at all. Yeah, well, I mean, but it is funny because the shame aspect is like it really took a chunk out of the cigarette business because, I mean, it became this socially unacceptable thing where people are like, "Oh, you're smoking? Ugh, I don't want you
Right.
smoking inside. I don't want this," or, "Ugh, that's going to kill." And people just eventually gave up. And now plenty of them went to vapes, but. Yeah, cigarettes are less popular because of social stigma, not because the Surgeon General
Right.
says that this is an addictive chemical.
Not because of the pictures on the packet either.
Yeah, no, they didn't. They didn't change it. It was all just society being like, we don't think we like this anymore.
Seatbelts. Same with
And by the way, I don't know, I shouldn't probably say it publicly, but if you are online, especially like my demographic,
yeah,
there's all sorts of ads for all sorts of stuff that is saying, if you don't want to do THC and if you don't want to drink alcohol, try this.
So the liquid THC? See, that's making a
Or
big,
no,
big thing now.
there's other things like mushroom-based stuff. There's all sorts of stuff.
Mushroom-based stuff. But there's
Kava
also Kava is the one I've been seeing a lot of.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's all people are going to move on to something else.
That's the whole thing. People freaked out about bath salt so much back in the day.
Oh,
It's like-
Joey just admitted to loving
I'm
bath salts
addicted
the
to
other day.
bath salts now.
Really?
Yeah, I think I'm taking a bath like every day.
Well, that's what I hate you. But they were just
My
warning
jacuzzi tub.
FDA warns of new gas station heroin. It's like
Right, I saw
there's
that.
there's
Yeah, I
always something new because the chemists are out there
Yeah.
trying to navigate around the laws. They make something cool. You give it a year or two, you make it illegal. They make some.
Well, just
They make something
change the
else
chemical
cool.
balance. I add a little more water. Hey, it changes the chemical construction.
Exactly. I take one methyl ring off
Right.
of this, and
Yes.
now it's a
I'm
completely
skating
different
right through your law
compound.
now.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen that happen so much with that fake pot.
We took a
It was
carbon ring
ridiculous.
off the fourth carbon atom at the 14th position, and now all of a sudden it's legal. And they're just going to keep doing.
Yeah,
that.
they're gonna keep doing it.
Keep going.
Now, the folks, maybe they have success in the court, but the folks, like I had, for instance, Jennifer Boozer on the show, who I think is on the same radio station as Jeff Poor, down 106.5, down in Mobile. And you can tell she does radio. She's very good at presenting herself, at least on the radio. And I tend to find her compelling. She and a lot of folks are very upset and very angry about this, but I don't see the political will in this state. Like, how many folks are actually going to react to this?
None. Same amount of people that react to the overtime.
Yeah.
Just tick. Their reaction's not going to happen. And hopefully they'll remember when it's time to vote again, but they won't.
Well, and also you got to think, like, some folks that might be, ripe and primed for that message, be like, what are you talking about? I've been buying weed from Bobby for 40 years, and, like, nobody's ever bothered me. And it's just like, yeah, I think there are a lot of folks who are like, they don't want politics at all. Like, they don't care, and they really don't care about a lot of the laws either. They just live their life.
Well, just like a lot of the states, like Florida, for example, where they did, I think it's legal now for medical marijuana, but they're not selling as much because they've taxed it so high that people just go down the street and see Bob. Why go to the dispensary? It was exciting. It was fun at first, but you're taxing the crap out of me. Bob's half a block down the road. A lot easier experience.
Anyway, we'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Take a trip with two iconic bands, JJ Gray and Mofro. Together with the Marshall Tucker Band. May 22nd, Montgomery Performing Arts Center. The Ramblin' Rooster Tour. Rock, blues, and hits all night. Get tickets Friday at Ticketmaster.com. Together for a rare evening. Don't miss JJ Gray and Mofro and the Marshall Tucker Band.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Well, what a show, I guess. Been a little all over the place, but that's usually how it is. I'm just looking forward to the weekend. We're looking to get Ray Bowles on the line here. And I think we got him. Yeah, let's go right to him. We got Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
Man, 2 more hours, baby. 2 more hours.
You're almost there.
Almost there.
What time did you start this morning, Ray? 5 o'clock?
I woke up at 5, but I didn't crawl out of bed till 5:30.
Wow, you're slacking. It is Friday, huh?
I know. I was just running through took me 30 minutes to figure out what my game plan to get through this day was, because tomorrow I'm going to drive up to Blue Ridge to pick up Emma.
Beautiful drive.
Bring her back. We're driving there. Kids, you never get through raising them, do you?
Nope.
So Lily, she said, Dad, long story, but I really need you to come get me and bring me back to Prattville, because Jacob's doing drill, and he's going to come from drill straight down, and I don't want to have two cars. Okay. And can you rent a U-Haul trailer and bring all my stuff that's in your storage units?
Yeah.
Yep. So the U-Haul's in the back. It's loaded down. I'm going to roll out at 6. Go to Blue Ridge, empty everything, set it all up, go to the church, get the baby crib, take a set and put that in the house, load her up, and come back. It's going to be a long day tomorrow.
Daggum, man.
Yep.
Well, at least you got 5 o'clock to look forward to.
And I'm so excited because I get in all week next week without Jacob here. I love my son-in-laws, but it's a lot more fun when they're not around.
I heard that.
So, yep. But if you need a floor, call us, 285-8117. We got all kind of special buys going on. We can get you done in a week or two, but it all starts with a phone call, 285-8117.
Again, that's 285-8117, and be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio.
Guys, have a great weekend.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Did we learn anything today?
Man, took all kinds of notes.
Seashells are a really big deal. It's super cereal, guys.
Yeah. No, it's Fugazi.
I've learned
it's
that
just another news cycle.
I've just learned that Eddie is capable of owning a white shirt. I am not.
The day's not over yet, brother.
Yeah, okay.
Was that an Auburn one?
No, it's the captain one. Got the flag on the back, like I'm the captain.
Like Captain?
America.
Yeah, that red though kind of looks orange under that line.
Oh, it's pretty red.
Oh, okay.
It's America red. But yeah, by the end of the day, there'll be, look at the snacks that are here waiting. I know there's a Reuben coming in the door. So
there's a Reuben coming in the door.
Actually, funnily enough, the week before last when I left here and you weren't here with your snacks, that was my high day.
See?
And I picked up a Reuben on the way out because, man, I would be a Reuben.
Oh,
yeah, Chappie's Reuben. Double. Double.
Oh, yeah.
Double.
Yeah.
They don't skip on the cheese.
What is that on there? Corned beef or pastrami?
Yeah.
I like the pastrami over there. It's pretty good.
And then not too long after that, I went and had a Cuban made with like barbecue meat. It wasn't that bad.
Really?
Not
Barbecue?
No, it wasn't from there. It was from Sweet Creek, and it was good. I like my Cubans to be Cuban-y.
Yeah. Can say it's kind of different, but be worth a try.
Well, anyway, on that note, let's get out of here. Happy hour's next. It's the weekend.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Conservatives have blocked President Trump's big tax breaks and spending cuts bill. House Republicans failed to push it out of the Budget Committee. 5 GOP conservatives voting against it, demanding further cuts to Medicaid